Straight Talk Society. This is your host, Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Straight Talk with Trevor.
Because the ladies from Pour Your Heart Out
no topic
will be over
is
here
off
to
limits.
join the panel.
Plus, but it's a must, you gon' respect this. Plus, your nuts will touch the dust, you tryna check this. You ain't
The
insane.
MMA brothers, Bones and Zay, have pre and post shows to the MMA shows. And I am your host, Mr. Straight Talk, the man with the greatest beard on YouTube.
I'm gonna tell you something. Facial hair is not apostolic. However you want to cut it, it's compromise. I don't care if your leader says you can wear a beard, honey. Beard's nothing more than pride. You're not going to be dipped in Holy Ghost oil and run around looking like the world.
Oh, I love throwing that in there. Real quick, I am back on Facebook. I guess they took me out of jail. I was able to connect the channel back. Those of you on Facebook, make sure and hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
And also, on Mondays, 6 o'clock, tune in to the same channel for Man Talk Monday. Trust me, you ain't got nothing better to do. Even if you think you do and you tune into that show, you're going to realize, oh, man,
okay,
I've been missing this.
Yeah. Because this is why you need me.
Once you listen to that, drop a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel because you're hard-headed, go ahead and subscribe to it
They
now.
are goofy.
And when you listen to that, if you haven't subscribed, you're going to want to subscribe. And then you're going to want to go back through the archives. And you're going to want to catch up on all your Man Talk Mondays. And then you might be able to find a few Bible debates in there.
That's what I'm going to say. TFP politics is on Tuesday.
Vancat, Mike, MD, and Ricardo do such a fantastic job with that. That's every Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
My position is impregnable. You can't do it.
If that doesn't fancy your boat,
Wrestling with Reality on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, acknowledge.
we have the return of Straight Talk Therapy sessions with the one and only Dr. Mia. So y'all be sure and tune into that.
And then you got the Bible debates on Thursdays.
So yeah, man, lock in with the Straight Talk Society, man, because you won't regret it, and we appreciate it. Also, milk coming out too. Look out for the merch. And if y'all can be so kind as to subscribe to the channel, it's only $1.99 a month. With all this premium content that we pushing out, it's definitely worth it. It just helps provide the channel with a resource to give y'all even better content, as if it can get better, right? But just go ahead and show us some love. We would be greatly appreciative.
The Straight Talk Society. We will not go over that 2.5 hour mark. So, Mike, you ain't got no shirt on, right?
I never have clothes on, bro.
But I'm saying you like right on the like crazy.
My bad. I don't like clothes, bro. Anybody that knows me, my fault.
Crazy.
Yeah, about to have me some doctrine. What the What the heck? What did he go? I had my mouth. What the
I just shot myself.
Do you really believe that garbage?
It's not about believing, it's a matter of fact.
So you believe.
Well, nobody else can make a decision but me because I was the president. The final decision comes to the president.
You know, it's easy enough for a Monday morning quarterback to say what the coach should have done after the game's over. But when the decision is up before you, and on my desk I have a motto which says the buck stops here, the decision has to be made.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I could say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
President?
Yep.
Mr. President, I want to raise an issue that I think you've been lurking out there for 2 or 3 weeks and casting specifically in national security terms. You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you were tired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances?
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
And I'm the one who will not raise taxes. My opponent now says he'll raise them as a last resort or a third resort. But when a politician talks like that, you know that's one resort he'll be checking into. And my opponent won't rule out raising taxes, but I will, and the Congress will push me to raise taxes, and I'll say no. And they'll push, and I'll say no. And they'll push again, and I'll say to them, read my lips. No new taxes.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
You're full of shit. All
right, thank you.
No, shush. Shush.
In any country, prison is where society sends its failures. But in this country, society itself is failing.
like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
We won the evangelicals. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Look at you crazy.
Grab him by the pussy.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Shut your mouth, because you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I did.
Hold it, tough guy. I'm not afraid of physical. Hold it.
Don't sit there and tell me I'm not.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people. Stand back and stand by with your
Last thing was Olivia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life tour. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
You got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Okay. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. We now have a gun on every table. We're ready to start shooting.
By the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same man.
Sarcastic.
That was...
Even though they're trying to impeach the son of a bitch. Can you believe that? You believe that? That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation? Punch him in the face, I'll tell you. If I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one other.
I don't want reality. I'm asking the question, which one is better? That's exactly what it is.
Got it on tape.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
I don't like words that hide the truth. I don't like words that conceal reality. I don't like euphemisms or euphemistic language. And American English is loaded with euphemisms because Americans have a lot of trouble dealing with reality. Americans have trouble facing the truth. So they invent a kind of a soft language to protect themselves from it. And it gets worse with every generation. For some reason, it just keeps getting worse.
How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen?
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down. Look at you.
You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
I ain't talking politics. I'm talking life.
I ain't talking politics. I'm talking life.
All right, here we go. Here we go again for another Tuesday, TFP Tuesday. This is Tape Fist Politics, episode 39, and I'm joined with the world's most dangerous political panel. Right now we got MD20. What's going on, MD?
Peace, what's going on? What's happening?
All right, and of course, we got the ever-changing avatar, Ricardo. What's going on, Ricardo?
What's good, y'all? Everything is good. I'm here. We're all here. Let's get it.
All right. So this week we're going to talk about or focus on Project 2025. MD, the political prophet amongst men, was the first person I really ever heard that sounded the alarm on the 2025 Project 2025. This is a very important thing to pay attention to. It's very dangerous, pretty much given the president that enacts the policies unchecked power to do almost virtually anything and to pretty much skirt around all the different levels and checks and balances that are in government. This is a story that we just have to talk about this week. And with the supposed debate, depending on if Trump doesn't chicken out, that's going to be a couple days away. It's a perfect time to discuss this major policy initiative. So before we get into it, let's go ahead and just take an overview, video look at some information on Project 2025. And we'll be back on the other end.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill.
That's
drill,
not. That's
drill.
That's not.
No, no.
That's not retribution. I'm
going to be. You know, he keeps. We love this guy. He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No. Other than day one, we're closing the border." And we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
So that sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president.
They say Project 2025 will change your life. For once, they're telling the truth.
Donald Trump gets in for 4 more years. He's going full throttle.
Project 2025 is Trump's plan to make America different, less free, less fair, less American. It's a roadmap for total control. Trump's control.
The gloves are off. There are no holds barred here.
Not just of the government, of your life, of your body, of every one of your freedoms, of what you can read and say, and where you can travel. He'll round up American citizens, use the government to punish his enemies, put the crazy and corrupt in power forever.
It's 4 years of scorched earth when Donald Trump retakes the White House.
But he promises to only be a dictator for one day. One day, sure.
That blueprint would radically remake the federal government, if executed, with its stated goal being, quote, to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work on day one to deconstruct the administrative state. The project is built on 4 pillars, which go well beyond previous transition efforts. There's the policy agenda, personnel, training, and a 180-day playbook to execute the think tank's plans. Many authors of the blueprint are former Trump officials.
Project 2025 lays out a step-by-step blueprint for dismantling our democracy. Step 1 says to gut the federal government and appoint tens of thousands of trained and vetted civil servants that are loyal to Donald Trump, that are now indebted to Donald Trump for their job. Donald Trump then appoints loyalists in key positions within the FBI, the DOJ, all of those 3-letter agencies that he spent years attacking. After Donald Trump strips these agencies of their independence and appoints all of these civil servants, which he tried to do in his first term.
The blueprint for a second Trump term? It may be this document, more than 900 pages long, outlining big changes to government as we know it.
If we don't win,
This country is finished.
Making a splash everywhere from Congress.
Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto.
To TikTok.
Project 2025 likely isn't going to happen.
Making a stir among progressives.
Is a 900-page blueprint for an authoritarian takeover.
Oh, just the right's blueprint for reshaping America.
Project 2025, the brainchild of former Trump officials and conservative think tank The Heritage Foundation.
Weaponized conservatives ready to do battle against the deep state.
That battle plan outlining several key proposals, including a federal government under much tighter presidential control. Even now, independent agencies like the Department of Justice would answer almost entirely to the president. It's a controversial idea known as unitary executive theory that would streamline decision-making and potentially replace many career civil servants with political appointees presumably loyal to Mr. Trump. The plan calls for more spending for a U.S.-Mexico border wall, a signature Trump proposal back in 2016.
Build that wall.
More federal power to control immigration and increased fees for the immigrants allowed to stay. On this side of the border, big cuts to corporate taxes and income tax for America's highest earners, cuts to federal investments in renewable energy and carbon reduction goals, and more fossil fuel and energy production. Project 2025 also taking aim at what it calls woke culture warriors, calling for deleting a long list of terms from all federal rules, including sexual orientation and gender identity. It also would eliminate the education department. It's not uncommon for think tanks to create wish lists for governments in waiting. But with the race for the White House basically deadlocked, Democratic opposition to the plan is ramping up against what Congressman Jared Huffman, behind the Stop Project 2025 task force, calls a dystopian plot.
I think what troubles me the most is just the explicitness of the extremism. We've never seen them talk in this kind of a swaggering, explicit way about basically gutting our democracy.
You're the executive director for the America First Legal, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And America First Legal is a member of Project 2025, which is dedicated to creating the playbook for the next conservative administration and what it calls the Project Pillars, correct?
We are proud contributors to Project 2025.
All right, so let's walk through some of the provisions of the mandate. It calls for eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce, deploying the military for the use of domestic law enforcement against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. It also has the repealing of Schedule F status for thousands of federal employees to allow a president to replace career civil servants with unqualified partisan loyalists. That's probably my favorite of it. It also prohibits the FBI from combating the spread of misinformation and disinformation, like Russia and China, who are actively trying to interfere with American elections. I don't know why or how anybody can support Project 2025. And I know that there was allegedly a joke about dictators and whether or not that's funny, but in the United States of America, dictatorships are never funny, and Project 2025 is giving the playbook for authoritarianism as well as the next dictator to come in.
Talk to us about what that looks like. If Heritage is calling for removing 50,000 federal employees, who are you replacing them with? The number and where do they come from? I mean, even if it's not 50,000.
No, we're gonna fire someone, and the number needs to be more than 50,000, considering that there are more than 2 million federal employees. Because over the last century, the radical left has seen the administrative state as the fourth branch of government. They're unelected bureaucrats.
The folks you're identifying who are Trump aligned are the ones who are going to be coming in.
You are positing that those people are incompetent, and I can tell you from looking at the resumes of the 11,000 that they're very well qualified.
As much as you're thinking I'm positing these people are incompetent, you're positing that they're somehow executing a nefarious agenda.
Some of them are. Why does the Environmental Protection Agency have 350
Have you identified them?
The war against reproductive rights has gone global, with American Christian conservatives targeting some of the world's poorest countries. By now, you've hopefully heard of Project 2025, the conservative blueprint for the next Republican administration that will consolidate power in the presidency and institutionalize Christian nationalism. If Trump returns to power, the checks that restrained him during his first term will disappear. Project 2025 will facilitate the purge of civil servants and experts from various federal agencies, replacing them with loyalists who are aligned with a right-wing agenda. To see what this could mean for America, you only need to look at the first Trump term and how it implemented the Christian nationalist project in Africa, where little oversight allowed the American far right to run wild. It may surprise you to learn that key parts of Project 2025 are already active in parts of Africa and Central America. In a further nod to his Christian conservative base, one of the first acts as president was to cut funding for foreign NGOs that shared information on abortion. And the repercussions in Africa have been devastating. This report goes on to describe the proliferation of illegal abortions, which are being performed, quote, with tools such as knitting needles, as well as women ingesting traditional herbs, crushed glass, or bleach to terminate pregnancies. These methods kill an estimated 28 women and girls in Kenya each week. Many more seek treatment for complications such as sepsis or organ failure.
People ask me all the time, they say, Dixon, man, why are all these poor redneck motherfuckers voting for Trump? They poor and they know that Trump is anti-labor, he's anti-union, anti-worker, pro-corporation. Trump's passed multiple legislations and appointed so many anti-labor, anti-union judges and lawmakers, and passed so many things to support big pharma, big corporations, billionaires. He has worked tirelessly to hurt poor people. The poor redneck motherfuckers busting their ass on bullshit pay every single fucking day in America. The coal miners, the truck drivers, whoever the fuck it may be, doing the hard labor. All you white motherfuckers out there doing that and voting for Trump. And I told my friend today why. MAGA is just a symbolism, a slogan for colonialization. Make America great again. Back to a time when we were great white colonizers.
All right. There we go. Project 2025. Just like that last gentleman just mentioned, he views it as a way to colonize and pretty much control the country. And like the piece just went into, parts of Africa and other areas are already feeling some of the policies from this this plan. So I'll go to Mike. Mike, what do you think about Project 2025? This is a 920-page document that has a very nefarious initiative. What are your feelings on it?
Twin, unmute yourself.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Shri, as you can see, which is others backwards.
There's no limit.
There is no limit.
All right. Good.
One of these days, I'm gonna get MD to crack. All right. I would like to say a couple things. One, I blame black people because I'm gonna do it like Kendrick. I blame black people, and in 3 arguments, I'll explain that phrase. Ooh, that was hard. Okay, so we'll get back to that. But I'm blaming black people. First things first, this is terrifying. If you aren't registered to vote, please go vote. I'm a person that has told everyone that Trump is going to win. I have never wanted to be more wrong in my life. If you listen to this thing, this is a manifesto. This is terrifying. If you think in any way that us as a minority group are going to survive, you're wrong. We will do what we always do, make it, but it won't be surviving. So please go register. That's one argument. Secondly, this is literally what white people say they're afraid of. They say they're afraid of losing power. They say they're afraid of the minorities coming in and changing everything and knocking them down as the majority. They're literally doing what they've accused everyone else of doing, but they have a framework for it to be done. This is scary because they're not joking. I tell people all the time, the people with the most power are the people that have nothing to do. The people who have all the voting power are the old ass people who don't work. The people who have all the power in the schools are the stay-at-home moms who don't have anything but to do but write letters. That's why they have all the power. They're at all the home, what do they call those? The house, the townhouse meetings. They're at all of those. They're at all the PCA. Everything to do that where real power is, they're there. And that's where MAGA lives. Third thing, I find it very funny. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, healthy Mike is different. Healthy organic Mike, if you were at the party, you saw that apple juice I was drinking. There's no arsenic, Tiki. Mind your business. That's a party joke if y'all made it. If y'all didn't make it, you'll get it later. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. MD. Thirdly, my third argument is if you know anything about what white people say they're afraid of, or I'm not gonna say white people, I'll take that back. What so-called conservatives say they're afraid of, they're terrified of the transfer of power, transfer of finance. If you've listened, that is exactly what this project does. The first step is to take out all of the federal workers. And if you do your research, you know federal workers, large chunk of black people, large chunk of Spanish people,
Facts.
large chunk of minorities, large. And they're replacing them with are they going to replace them with people who went to college and got their MBAs? And are they going to replace them with people who are specialized in this type of federal work? No, they're going to replace them with mugs that like Trump. That's the only criteria. You like Trump? Come on in. Learn this pat down. Yeah. That and if you think about it, that is literally transfer of finance. They are taking the little bit of money that minorities are getting from here and they're transferring it to their poor whites to make their poor whites middle whites. And if you know anything about middle whites, they'll do anything not to become poor whites again. They'll do anything. And now I will explain my original phrase so I get in my Kendrick thing. The reason I blame blacks is because when they had the chance to keep Trump out in the first place and they chose not to do it, they allowed him to put, what is it, 2 or 3 people in SCOTUS?
Yes,
Was
sir.
it 2?
Yep,
Okay.
Three.
And when
Two illegitimate.
Yes.
2 illegitimate, and 1 came in on account of beef. What's her name? Dying,
right. And if you
her
know
dumb ass.
anything, you know that was step 1 of whatever this project 2025 is. They didn't say it. I'm telling you it was. Because once they have SCOTUS on lock like they do, there's a reason that all the Trump cases that are supposed to be seen by the Supreme Court haven't moved a step. They're holding it up. They're holding it back. They're waiting to see if he wins. And why can they do that? Because he put enough of them in office that they will. What we have a meeting on the 13th? Can't do it, man. I got to go back to Tora Bora. Just can't make it. That is step 1. And if you let them get that, and they get the executive, and the legislative isn't that far behind, I promise you all, you're gonna wish you had dual citizenship. I promise you. I'm not people always come in here and they say, Sritho, you're so negative. Sritho, you're always a fatalist. Hey, this is the beginning. This moment right here. If you've ever seen Terminator 2, this is the moment before the black guy blows up the house. This is the moment when Skynet's about to be invented. This is it. You're watching it. And if it happens, I'm Jamaican again. I'm out. And that might even, and keep it a buck, that's probably not even far enough. Because they'll come take that too.
Yeah, they'll take over Jamaica.
Exactly. If you think for a moment that if they have 2/3 of the checks and balances in the high rates of the high levels of our country, and they're not going to steal a third, and then you think the next step is not to put their balls on the table and show them that America's big and bad again. If you think they're not going to war, you're out of your mind. They said it in the thing. They said colonization is what they want to go back to, that colonizer. Well, guess what? To be a colonizer, you got to get colonies. You got to go swing your dick everywhere. You got to go put your balls on people's heads and make them act like it's a hat. And if you think Jamaica ain't on that list, they are. If you think some brown countries, like the best comedian of all time, George Carlin, used to say, brown countries aren't on that list, you're sadly mistaken. And if you think other white countries that think they're bad and need to be shown that there's only one bad ain't around, and Trump ain't the one to swing his orange balls on them, you're out of your mind. This is the moment. Skynet is about to launch. Get your damn registration done. Stop this. Please let me be wrong. I will lock this in. I will change the number to 96% wrong. If you can get this from me, because I'm 98% right, I will change it to 96. Please do not let this happen. I'm sorry. I've spoken too much. Sridhar will be quiet.
All right.
We don't want you to be quiet, damn it. You speak your damn mind.
Thank you,
All
Tony.
right, thanks, Mike, for that. That's pretty
Sridhar,
poignant.
sir. Sridhar. You see the name?
No,
Sridhar. It's right there.
nah, that's all right. That almost sounds like scrotum, and I don't know about all that.
Sir, I don't know what kind of pervy stuff you got in your mind. Scrotum and Sridhar don't even sound. They don't even have the same letters.
I don't know, man. It sounds weird to me.
Sridhar? What a hater, sir. I'm gonna call the ASPCA. I don't know what they do. I just know they're a bunch of letters, and if you say a bunch of letters, people usually get scared. So I'm gonna call the ASPCA and the ACLU and the WZY, and some of them will make you call me Sridhar. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike, for that. Yeah, I mean, it's very poignant. If you hear Mike and what he's saying, I mean, it's jarring because if Mike could see the sense of urgency that needs to be had with this, it's serious. Ricardo, what do you think about Project 2025?
Yeah, just watching that whole piece, and by the way, glad to see you on here, Twin. Come back more often, because God damn it, you have been missing in action, and Venkat and I will curse your ass out if you don't come back more often. But
I'm sorry, I don't feel as smart as you guys. You guys are smarter than me in this, and I'm not used to being the dumbest person.
How dare you say such things?
I know that is far from the truth, man.
True, fallacy. What's the word we're looking for here? Fallacy. Well, MD will tell me afterwards.
But I would say, don't call me a phallus, sir. That's you try. Venkat called me a scrotum, and now you calling me a penis, sir.
It's pure nonsense, Twin. But that's for another time. But me and Venkat we'll gang up on you, goddamn it, if you don't come back on here. But yes, when Twin comes on and Twin speaks, and we are in gridlock agreement, it's very urgent. Like it's that dire. That piece in itself, if I remember watching back, because if I tend to again, I always say this from the inception of TFP starting, that we are a very fickle mind society. We tend to forget things from the get-go, from like yesteryears, and then when we see it back in action again, we're like, wait a minute, that did happen. We somehow forgot that. It's like remembering the Helsinki thing with Trump going to Helsinki and literally ass kissing and kowtowing and doing the most with Putin. Mind you, Putin is a little itty bit, like he's just as short as Lil Kim is from North Korea. They're tiny pieces of people. And the way he was going on and kissing the ring, and I was like, what the hell? If Obama had ever done this, he would have not heard the last bit of it. Like, you thought the tan suit was a problem? That would have been like, oh my God, he went there. This black man went there. It was that bad that when Trump did all that, when I tell you I was infuriated watching the whole thing in action, I was livid. I was so upset. But that's for another time and place. But just remembering from a number of things that these white nationalists were going on and on about. And it's very terrifying when they're fearful, because they feel, it's just like me watching commercials lately. All I see is interracial pictures. I'm seeing, you don't see nothing at all anymore with black people prominent in the forefront. It's always some mixture of something. I don't know if they're fearful of something. They're fearful of things changing to like the color of everybody being different. It's inevitable, and I can't stress this enough. Even Britain had to face that awakening that, hey, we ain't going to be straight white no more. It's going to be mixtures of everybody. Everybody going to be mixed, because you can't stop what is basically coming. But it's like they're fearful of the transfer of power to either the minority voters, or that, like, they're fearing that they're not going to be majority anymore. And every time they become fearful, it's like they bring on some tactic, whether that be voter supremacy, or suppression, where they come up with, like today, for instance. Now they're the conservative groups are coming up with these tactics of, let's stop the nationals from voting. And if you know who the nationals are, those are the people that are from, I think, don't quote me, Van Cat, I think the U.S. Virgin Island citizens are not allowed to vote.
What?
Wait, is that what they were saying today? Some crap. This is where
They better not. United States Virgin Islands, that's where I'm from. We have the same rights.
There you go. But there's a lot of things that people don't know, and I'm like, how do you not know that the United States?
Remember when Trump told that I think it was a congresswoman that she needs he needs to hear from her president or whatever, and like,
Right.
you are our president.
And but that goes to show you that most people don't even know social studies like that and civics. You have got to be kidding me when they don't know that Guam is a part of the U.S., that the U.S. Virgin Islands is a part of the U.S., that Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S., the U.S. Marshall Islands are part of the U.S. What are you guys talking about? What is going on here? Like, these I remember having a discussion, like, I think it was last year, the year before last year, with somebody that didn't know none of this facts. And I'm like, what are you saying to me right now? Like, did you not know that the U.S. basically it's basically like they're part of the U.S. So the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam, if you never have heard about Guam, the U.S. Marshall Islands, they're all part of the U.S. Oh, I didn't know this, but how comes you didn't know this? Did you not go to school? Oh, no one never told me. That's not for somebody to tell you. That's for stuff that you're supposed to know. I wasn't born in this country, but I knew that much. So how did you not know? It's like that kind of, it's the craziness of these people, like, spewing the diatribe, and then they want this, and when he comes into power, this is what's going to change. Like, this is an awakening moment, and you cannot ignore the fact that AI is here, which now distorts the whole factual news cycles that we're so used to. Now everybody's going online, and nothing is accurately, like, in real time. You could usually fact check things. Now it's like AI could distort, and then these bots can tell you things and people believe them instantly. It's like, what is going on here? Where is the trust that used to be in the media? Now you like MD was mentioning yesterday. Don't be surprised if you see Trump at the last minute pull out of the debates, because they're going to use these tactics like he did in the first time he was running. Oh, I won't go on CNN because CNN is not trustworthy. They're the liberal media, blah, blah, blah. And they come up, and he did it to Fox News as well. So don't just think it's just CNN. He does it to every media outlet. They will come up with these things so that they could brainwash and manipulate people, and instantly people, if they're not thinking or not in the frame of mind of understanding that this is manipulation 101. Oh, yeah, they're always against Trump. This. People, I'm gonna need y'all to use your common senses here, and I'm gonna need y'all to do your due diligence. And I cannot stress this enough, because we have 6 months. Do not fall back to old familiar patterns that you've literally hear these people been telling you this whole time, when they were saying, when we come in, this is what we're gonna do. This is Bannon speaking from behind the walls, like I've mentioned 2 weeks ago, that these are these lunatics that they have all these frame of minds and things and templates that they could think of, that this is what they want when they come into power. You cannot ignore the fact that this country, the beacon of light that Ronald Reagan was talking about, that when you hear these lunatics come in and say, oh, we're going to change, what are you changing? Like, explain to me, what is it that you want to change so much? You want to get rid of 50,000 government employees? And like Mike mentioned, which was so on the point, these people that are government people, including people that work for the TSA and people who work for the national parks, and they're majority minority people, meaning Black people, meaning they're Hispanic people. They're not your typical white people. If you notice, and maybe it's just me because I'm very observant, you will notice that sometimes when you're in a certain field of work or job, you have certain people, again, don't get offended, you Caucasian people out there, but you guys tend to get very, I don't know, terrified when you see somebody like myself in a position of power, and you're like, oh, I don't want to like talk to him, but let me talk to your supervisor, let me talk to your manager. I am the supervisor, I am the manager, I'm the one who's in control here. So when you start doing your nonsense, I have the power to get rid of you or take you out. That's what they're afraid of. They don't like that. That's something that they can never. There's certain set of people that have been here, or their parents or their forefathers have been here long enough that when they see change like that, they're like, oh, wait a minute now. The black guy is in charge. Yes, I'm in charge. I'm the one that you're gonna have to come and complain to, and I'll give you the final word. And most of the time, I'm gonna tell you, keep it a buck. I'm not gonna go in your position. I'm gonna go for the person that is telling me logics, not the nonsense of you crying and doing the Karen and the cans. And I don't got time for that. That's what they're afraid of, and that's what I'm trying. Like, to me now, this is where I feel like people like MD, Venkat, Twin, and everybody else that are out there that are beginning to see the writings on the wall. It's like, what are these people that I'm hearing today on TikTok and the rest of social media talk about? Oh, I'm gonna vote for Trump. He's got my vote stamped. What are you guys talking about? And but by the way, these people are the black people that you hear Mike saying it's all of y'all fault. Damn right, it's all their fault, Twin, because they're the ones that allowed him to come in. You see, like Maya Angelou says, because I'm now babbling, I'm gonna stop. When somebody presents to you how they are the first time, believe them. He literally told us the first time when he was coming in what he was gonna do, and we all laughed and we were like, that's never gonna happen. Guess what it did? It automatically happened, because we all thought for once everything that the media was telling us, oh, Hillary is gonna win, she's gonna shatter the ceiling. It didn't happen that night. And you know what happened? We all sat there in dismay and was like, what the F is this? What happens next? We were literally dumbfounded. This is the same thing we're going back into. We cannot allow this to happen again, people. Again, you have the option to vote. It's your civic duty as American citizens to go out and vote. I don't want to hear no excuse today after talk about, I wish I should have voted. I wish I should have told my mom and my dad and my grandpa. You have an opportunity to tell them and to do all of that now. Do it now. Do your homework now. Do your civic duty now. Do your research. Find out what's affecting you locally, and then think about the bigger issues that are going to be coming against, like the Supreme Courts. Maybe, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3 people need to be replaced or are going to be replaced this cycle when the president gets voted in November. So that's very significant, because we never thought we'll see Roe versus Wade get eliminated, but they told us all along that they were going to get rid of it. They told us they were going to get rid of the Affordable Health Care Act, which is other words known as Obamacare. They couldn't do it because, remember, that was one of the things that the insurance company was like, oh, hell no, we could profit off this bitch, so why get rid of it? So there's things that literally Trump and his goons have been telling us that they were going to do, and he literally jumped in the first day and did it. Stop pretending like this cannot happen, guys. Like Twin said in his piece, it's terrifying. It's like watching Terminator 2, 3, 4, and 5 with Skynet. And you know who Skynet is? It is AI. It is here, people. It is not a joke. When you hear, like, Elon Musk saying, like, you could have robots and all that coming into play, it's literally here now. It's not even like in the future. It's now. It's happening now. This election cycle is important. Go out and vote. I cannot stress it. But before you vote, do your homework. Find out what's affecting your local interest, and then think about the bigger picture. That's all I'm going to leave it at. MD, you have the floor. It's nuts. That is crazy. What I just saw just now.
All right, MD. Your take here on Project 2025.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, folks, we are within a time period within American society that is it's pivotal that we understand what's going on from a socio-political standpoint. Project 2025 mandate for leadership is one of the most dangerous things that we will face, definitely in our lifetime, possibly for generations to come. We have to understand it. We got to learn it. I'm almost now. I'm almost halfway in. This is what I did, just to lean into the conversation. You can go get the Mandate for Leadership Project 2025 right now from their website. I'm not saying that you got to read it. It's a little app I got on my phone and I got on my laptop called Speechify. Download Speechify and put it into that PDF and just listen to it. You ain't got to read it verbatim. Just listen to it and listen to how diabolical it is that this conglomerate of conservative talking heads are speaking in which they view the next conservative term for president. It's diabolical. First and foremost, what they're going off of when it comes to unitary presidential theory or executive theory, what they're going off of is Article 2, which talks about the different branches of government, Section 1. Section 1 talk about the executive branch. That's what they're leaning into when it comes to unitary executive theory. Their argument is that in the vesting clause in Section 1 that says, let me get the wording right. The powers of the executive branch are vested in the president of the United States. That's all it says. They're going off that one little sentence and trying to put a legislative stamp on giving ultimate power to the president. That's not what that says. All it's saying is the powers vested in the president are given, therefore, by the people to run the executive branch. It's not saying that the executive branch don't have checks and balances. It do got checks and balances. How do we know that? Because all the executive agencies within the executive branch are independently ran. CIA, FCC, EPA. Those are independent entities amongst themselves. Why are they independent? It goes on to talk about why they're independent through the various codes of when these agencies were created, solely for the purpose of being independent to be a mandated cause for the people and be bipartisan. That's the issue that we facing. Trump don't want it to be bipartisan anymore. All the way from the director of the CIA all the way down to the mailman, he want everybody in lockstep when it comes to MAGA maniac ideology. And that's unconstitutional down to the bone. But here we are facing
No,
this.
sir. Mr. MD, tell him what was the last government that was like that.
What was the last government that was like that?
Yeah, I think it was around in the early 60s in Germany somewhere. Just a thought.
Oh well. I mean, if you want to be, I guess if you want to take it from a historical standpoint, I would say the last government that was like that was USSR. And who does Trump like the most?
Mm-hmm. Speak up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it is what it is. Man, I'm reading a book right now. Y'all know I like to put the books into the to the chat. I just finished a book talking about populism. I'm reading a book right now called Trump and Russia. It goes back to the 70s. Trump been dealing with Russia since the 70s.
I read that book, MD. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Some of this stuff I did not know. No, I'm like, man, this go beyond 2024.
Why do you think I keep calling him Agent Orange 45? Because of that damn book. Because there's so much I didn't know either. He's landlocked with Russia from the longest time. The wives, everything has been because of Russia. This has been orchestrated from the minute he came in.
I agree.
It's nuts. If people weren't paying attention, and that book, you need to bring it up. Let them know the title, MD, because I haven't read it in a while.
It's coming in MD's antisocial book club. Don't worry about it.
Because when I read
antisocial book club,
I read that book, when I tell you my mouth hit the floor, there was so much stuff I was like, it makes sense. It makes a ton of sense. But the MAGA people will tell you, oh no, they're up against him. They're always trying to do something. It's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, the facts is literally like right in front of you. Like, what are you, like, how are you going to distort the fact that the information is right there? Like, you can't deny anything that was written in the book. I'm usually very skeptical, but the book makes sense. I hate to say it, but it does make a ton of sense. But I digress.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Ricardo. At the end of the day, here's the hypocrisy of it all. The very thing, just breaking it down to unitary executive theory. That ain't the only thing that I'm gonna talk about, but I want to give a baseline with that. Unitary executive theory, going back to Mike's point, talking about a certain demographic of white people. What do we hear? We all I hear coming from a lot of these MAGA maniacs: get government out my life. We don't want a bigger government. We want less government. Hey, I concur with a lot of them points, but then you turn around and not privy yourself to this information in regards to Project 2025. This is the stupidity of the common everyday American citizen. It's just a fact. The fact that they don't know that this stuff is what the baseline argument is dealing with why people are opposing Trump is baffling to me. Now, going to another thing. Well, really not another thing. Going into the bulk of unitary executive theory, something they call Schedule F employee. They want to implement Schedule F employees by saying every single last employee that's dealing with an independent executive agency is under the whim of the president of the United States. Again, from the top all the way down to the bottom. This is what I want to do, Venkat. At some point in time, we're gonna have to go onto the Project 2025 website and fill out the application. I want to fill out the application to see what these questions are. That's what I want to do. So again, hey, this is troubling, man. This is troubling. They want to get rid of, quote unquote, the administrative state is what they want to try to focus on. Again, all of the checks and balances that make the world go round, basically. Like I said, the FCC, the EPA, all your DOJ, CIA, FBI, all of that stuff got to be under the whim of the president for some odd reason. I don't know why. You already got the right to appoint directors. Cool. I ain't got no issue with that. When it comes to the standpoint of the body of the agency, you ain't got no skin in the game because they are confounded in being an independent agency. It literally say that in the charters of all these agencies. Independent. What does independent mean? Meaning we're not doing our work in any type of partisan role. That's what they're there for. Look, cool, you appointed me. I'm gonna do my job as it says legislatively within the principles of the role. That's what James Comey did when Obama directed him director of the FBI. That's what he did. He did an investigation on Trump. He did an investigation on Clinton. Matter of fact, he did 2 investigations on Clinton. He did the first email investigation. Then when WikiLeaks came out with not WikiLeaks, but what's the guy's name with the laptop, the pedo guy?
Julian Assange.
Julian Assange.
Well, Assange did the WikiLeaks. That was the first investigation. Anthony Weiner.
Oh, the
When
nerd that
Anthony
ran
Weiner's
the
laptop.
Russian? Oh, right.
Remember, Anthony Weiner got charged with speaking to a 15-year-old girl.
Yes, he did.
Anthony Weiner was in the White House. Well, no, he was on Hillary Clinton's campaign, and she was sending emails to him, emails that weren't in the WikiLeaks, and he turned around and did a second investigation. So what else you want from the man? Because he didn't do what you wanted him to do, then you fired him. Jeff Sessions, same way. Jeff Sessions wasn't in there but for a few months. You fired him. The insanity that's beholden to the Trump administration throughout the course of his term was nothing short of stupidity. So now you're telling me you want to be able to control not only the directors of these independent agencies, but the body of the independent agency within itself. You crazy as hell.
So what, MD? So what's really troubling here? Even if you're not in depth with politics and you're not paying attention to the day by days, there's things that you cannot ignore. Donald Trump is running to be the president, simultaneously a convicted criminal. This guy created a coup to overthrow the government and failed miserably, but did a lot of damage to the Capitol. Some people died, some people got injured, police officers, so on and so forth. So he's a traitor to the country. And now he's allowed to be on a ballot this coming November to be considered to be president of the United States. That's crazy. And if he gets in, the 2025 initiative is going to completely radically change how government is being ran.
Yeah,
So
100%, 100%. Check this out, Van Cat. It's not like it's beyond all of the discrepancies that Trump got at this point. The Republican leadership wants you to believe that this is a copy and paste plan. It's not. No right-minded conservative would go with this based on the implications of it being unconstitutional.
right, I don't think Mitt Romney would have done this at all.
Exactly.
No way. And you damn sure know.
Right.
You damn sure know a lot of the other Republicans. Even I don't even think Bush would go for this.
Nope.
I don't think any other Republican candidate that ran in the primary would go with Project 2025. But with the exception of maybe Vivek and maybe DeSantis.
Oh, those guys are illegitimate.
I would like to disagree with all of you. I was enjoying this kumbaya, we all on the same page thing, but I need to remind you all, this is why my long-term plans disagree and diverge like strikingly from MD, because this is the type of thing I speak about when I say we cannot let the free market run. We cannot let people go on their own devices, because this is what would happen. This is what regulations stop. This is what checks and balances are supposed to stop. And because they've been allowed to run amok, he's been allowed to put people in positions of power so they can protect and shield him. He's been allowed to have, because you just said, oh, the so-and-so would have never done this. Well, guess what? We said that, well, not me, but people said that about Nikki Haley a couple months ago. People said that about the first time it was going on. They said that about every Republican with the exception of that idiot from Texas that no one likes. What's that guy?
Greg Abbott or Ted Cruz?
Ted Cruz.
With the exception of Ted Cruz, you all thought they had sense. And I told you, I learned during the second Bush administration, during W's administration, I learned that conservatives bend to what's working. They will come with all the highfalutin, oh, well, the party of Reagan would have never done that. Oh, it's working? Yes, we're damn sure down for that. We cannot stand big government. What? Big government works for us? Hell yeah, we like big government. That's who they are. They bend and move. And don't get me twisted. I'm not acting like the Democrats are better. The Democrats are just as disgusting. The only difference is they'll give you a rag and say, wipe that off your shoe. That's the only difference. But I don't know why people believe that these people are morals, that these people have integrity. Morals and integrity have been washed from politics for decades. There are none. These are all pieces of shit who will walk in whatever direction gets them a bigger smile from the lobby.
That's why we can't have an honor system.
I don't disagree with that.
System in these policies. They gotta lay down some concrete new type of law that addresses why we have a friggin' convicted jackass running for president. Like, that's problematic.
Yeah.
You know why they won't? The same reason they won't change the super vote, or the what's that? They talk for 30 years. And
filibuster.
The same reason they won't get a filibuster, because guess what? What if the next time the convicted felon is our guy? Huh?
Yeah.
What if he's our guy?
That's a real thing. That's real what you're saying, Mike. That is real.
Well, let me say this real quick, then I'm done.
Go ahead and hut up. Go ahead.
And blame Harry.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna say this and I'm done back at. Well, two things. I don't disagree with nothing you're saying, Mike. All I'm saying is you have to play the populist role with creating the facade of some type of conservative value. At this point, what I'm saying is it's not necessarily about the value, it's about the constitutionality. No conservative that's in their right mind is gonna go with it based on the constitutionality. Damn the value. I don't put no conservatism is dead. I don't put no value in value. What I'm saying is the constitutionality is what's at stake at this point. Last thing, I'm seeing people online on Twitter and YouTube saying that the Democrats are using Project 2025 as a boogeyman for black folk. I'm gonna give names. Niggas like Tariq Nasheed, some of these people has made claims that we don't need to focus on Project 2025. That's where again I'm all for reparations. Speak your speak, but when you get in my lane and you start talking nonsense, we got a problem. A person that has not read not one lick of Project 2025 ain't got no say so in nothing. I know it because he a grifter at the end of the day. He ain't gonna read nothing like that. What I'm saying is, folks, we got to get real in regards with our political education. That's just what it is. You don't know what you're talking about if you don't know what the body of the document say. I'm almost halfway in it. I'm knee deep in it. The conglomerate of this Republican establishment is knee deep in it. At the end of the day, we're gonna have to choose. Now, again, I don't rock with either candidate. That's just what it is. But I ain't stupid enough to undermine my vote knowing what could happen. That's just a fact. So I'm proclaiming today on TFP, I'm voting for Biden. And that's just what it is.
That's a bombshell and an exclusive. That's correct. I mean, that lets you know how serious. I mean, we've already had 2 bombs with Mike, and now we have another bomb with MD. I mean, this is serious stuff, man.
MD is right.
Unreal. These are troubling times. All right, so there's a lot with this Project 2025. I implore everyone to look at Last Week Tonight. They did a nice job from HBO, a nice job breaking down a lot of the Project 25 initiatives in there. And, they always try to do it in an entertaining way. But it's a very big plan, 920 pages. And it's a dastardly plan. So we're going to move on to the next segment here. Let's see a second. Oh, boy. Hold on 1 second. All right. So we had a situation on CNN. So I want to get into that right now. This also has to do with Biden. Really Trump, but the Biden-Trump debate. Let's take a look at one of Trump's spokeswomen on CNN.
We should take a drug test prior, because I don't know what's going on with her, but at the beginning of her last debate, she was all pumped up.
I'm willing to take a drug test. I think he should too. People say he was on performance-enhancing drugs. A lot of people have said that.
He's sleeping now because they want to get him good and strong, so a little before debate time, he gets a shot in the ass.
My God. President Trump is knowingly going into a hostile environment on this very network, on CNN, with debate moderators who have made their opinions about him very well known over the past 8 years and their biased coverage of him.
My colleagues, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, have acquitted themselves as professionals as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. What do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it would take someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently, frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time.
Mistake. I don't know Casey Hunt. She wasn't there when I was there. I like that she wanted to defend her colleagues. She should have defended them. Am I biased? Yes. I worked at CNN for a long time. I worked with Jake there, worked with Jake at ABC News. He's been no friend to me in my situation, but that doesn't make him uncommon. Jake Tapper's easy to defend, okay? He has covered Trump rigorously, no question about it. So has anyone who's going to moderate this panel, all right? And they would find a reason to complain about anybody, okay? But ending that interview that way is a bad look. And it has played exactly to a reputation that I believe CNN does not deserve. But now you got all these people on social media saying she cut her off, she censored her because she couldn't have the debate, couldn't debate her people. It's a bad look. But I understand the position that she was in, and I don't know that it was her call to end the interview.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently, frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate.
You come on my show, you respect my colleagues, period. I don't care what side of the aisle you stand on, as my track record clearly shows. The MAGA War Room, which is the Trump campaign account, says, fake news, CNN cuts off Caroline Levitt after she calls out Jake Tapper's anti-Trump history. CNN is afraid of people knowing the truth. And then Caroline Levitt posts herself and she goes, you cut off my microphone for bringing up the debate moderator's history of anti-Trump lies. This proved our point that President Trump will not be treated fairly on Thursday, yet he is still willing to go into this 3-1 fight to bring his winning message to the American people, and he will win. Some other right-wing influencers like this account, Molly writes, CNN, our host can lie about Donald Trump being a Russian asset or 1,000 other lies, but if you state what we've said, we will immediately remove you from the program. Democrat media at its finest. Jack Posobiec goes, breaking. CNN host at Casey cuts off Trump spokeswoman Caroline Levitt the second she brings up Jake Tapper spending years comparing Trump to Adolf Hitler. This is a preview how CNN will act during the debate.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage, this time given life by former president and current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump.
Well, if you just want to take a look at this chart right here about Trump echoing Hitler's words on the campaign trail, you can see each and every time that Donald Trump uses the kind of exact phraseology that Hitler uses that like people just don't normally use in day-to-day conversation. I'm going to get rid of the communist vermin. I will get rid of the communist vermin. I will take care of the enemy within. I will take care of the threat from within. Jews and migrants are poisoning the Aryan blood. Migrants are poisoning the blood of our country. One people, one realm, one leader. One people, one family, one glorious nation. I mean, they're using the same language.
Themselves as professionals, as they have covered campaigns and interviewed candidates from all sides of the aisle. I'll also say that if you talk to analysts of debates previous, that if you're attacking the moderators, you're usually losing. So I really want to focus in on what these two men are going to do and say when they stand on the stage. Now, we have a little bit of what Donald Trump, your boss, has said in trying to set expectations for this debate. I want to play a series of his comments, and then we'll talk about it. Watch.
Well, maybe I'm better off losing the debate. I'll make sure he says I'll lose the debate on purpose. Maybe I'll do something like that.
I assume he's going to be somebody that will be a worthy debater?
Should I be tough and nasty and just say you're the worst president in history? Or should I be nice and calm and let him speak?
So he's basically saying there, well, will I let Joe Biden win? It does seem as though many Republicans have set the bar very low in terms of arguing that Joe Biden is basically senile. Now you have people like Doug Burgum coming out and saying, well, President Biden's very accomplished, trying to set expectations in a different place. What do you expect from Joe Biden?
Well, first of all, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently,
we're going to stop this interview if you're going to keep attacking my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate. Our thanks to Caroline. John.
Yeah, so I think Casey Hunt did a very good job trying to stay on message right there, but it's why you really can't have intelligible debates with these MAGA people, because they're not there to engage with you in good faith and talk policy, discussion, and facts. They want to speak disinformation, and they want to attack you, and they want to whine.
Just then, by sheer coincidence.
Okay, Karen, I've got a complaint. I know the campaign wants to win over Nikki Haley's voters, but I don't think you do that with name calling. For example, I take issue with Trump's new nickname for California governor, calling him New Scum. I don't think that's a good idea. I object to that kind of language. How about you?
Well, I think that what Governor Gavin Newsom has done to the once great state of California is terrible. You see real scum, real homeless people all over the streets.
Excuse me, are you okay? Are you saying it's okay to bring that kind of language to a presidential campaign? New scum? That's okay?
I think the real problem here, Stu, is the policies of the deranged Democrats from Gavin Newsom to Joe Biden
I think your
that have destroyed
campaign has
American
a problem with
communities
language
across
like
this
that.
country.
You don't agree with me, but I think your campaign has a problem with language like that.
Well, I don't think voters respectfully agree with you either, Stu. If you look at the resounding wins that President Trump has received across the board.
You think you're going to win over Haley voters with language like that, do you? You win over moderates and women with language like that? Really?
A few moments later.
Then you have a hostile network like Fox. Like when I did the interview with Brett, I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay, but there was nothing friendly about it. You know, it was nasty. And I thought I did a good job. I've been given credit for doing a good job, but people said, why would you do it? Because it was really, everything was like everything was unfriendly. No smiling. No, let's have fun. Let's make America great again. Everything was like a hit. So, you have a hostile network and you have people that are obviously their candidates are against you and they therefore are being hostile. And if you're leading by 30, 40 or 50 points, what's the purpose of really doing it?
All right. So with the debate theoretically being a couple days away, we have, of course, usual controversy with the Trump administration. The video here just illustrated the whining and the complaining and the victimhood and all the blaming and all the shenanigans that Trump and his administration has implemented throughout the years. I'll go to MD this time. MD, what did you think of what happened? Do you think it was fair that she got cut off? What will your take?
So I don't think that the host wanted to deal with the gaslighting, because that's what it was. She was attempting to gaslight the host to divert critical conversation when it comes to the debate. And the fact that, and we all know it, Trump has not prepared himself for this debate. Now you can make an argument to say, well, Trump knows the talking points and he knows the policies that he was able to implement and he knows how to change. You can make that argument, but why couldn't the spokesman for the Trump campaign not make that argument? That's the issue. The number one reason that there is a inclination now that Trump might not come is for this very reason, or the gaslight. I want to hear, like, again, policy, not the person. That's one of my mottos. I want to hear the policy. I don't want to hear drill, baby, drill. I don't want to hear all the mainstream slogans that Trump got. I want to know what's going on with the policy, and I want to see you challenge the policy of Trump. Why wasn't she able to articulate that on this show? And then she turned around and go on Stewart. Damn, what's his name? What's that guy's name? It's in my head. The Fox Business guy. But in any event,
Oh yeah.
Then you
Yeah,
go on his. I think it's Stewart Learning or something like that.
yeah.
But then you go on his show, and he said something specific about the gaslighting attempts, and then you just fail miserably at articulating yourself in that regard, dealing with Gavin Newsom. At the end of the day, folks, these are a common tactic of a populace. The populace is there to motivate the crowd with these nomenclature. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. He's not there to give you what the real policy is, because his real policy, in fact, is contradictory to what the quote unquote people really want. We just saw that in our segment with Project 2025. At the end of the day, I didn't want to believe it, but there may be a slight chance that Trump backs out of this debate with some of the stuff that he's been talking these past couple of days. Now, I'll be doing coverage live on the debate. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm gonna do it.
Are you gonna stream some of the video?
I'm gonna stream the whole doggone thing.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be getting it straight from CNN or stealing somebody else's stream, by hook or by crook, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be live starting 8:30 Thursday night. Debate coverage, Biden versus Trump, the first presidential debate. We'll figure it out. But in any event, I hope he does it in the sense that I want to see now, head to head, now that we've had a turn for Trump, a turn for Biden. Let's see y'all butt heads when it comes to the policy. If that don't happen, I'm gonna say Biden won by default, because I already know what Biden gonna come out and do. I know he gonna challenge the policy. I know that he's gonna come out and tell you what his platform is. The challenge is gonna be if Trump do that. And if he don't do it, I don't care what all the stuff that he say may be funny. I don't care what he say about Biden. If he don't do it, he lose by default. So here's where we're gonna really see policy for policy where everybody stands. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
All right, thanks, MD. We're gonna go to Ricardo. Ricardo, what's your thoughts on this upcoming debate? And did you think it was fair that she got cut off?
It was absolutely fair that she got cut off. And the debate coming up. There's a whole bunch of things to unwrap here. First of all, with the commentator and Trump spokesperson's interaction on CNN when she came on, she knew better, and I think both knew better. Could they have handled that a little bit with due diligence? Absolutely, because if you know how the Trump administration is, you pretty much know that there are uncharacteristics to them when they do anything. There's always some catch-22 because you're gonna lean into either them getting away with something, or they're gonna say, hey, you see, this is what we were trying to say, this is the point we're trying to prove, yada 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 yada. It's the same playbook. It never gets old. What I would have wished the CNN commentator would have done would have, handled it a little bit better. You could tell she was really upset about it, but she, in all fairness, had a right to do so, because we've seen it before. And when it comes to Trump and the goons, or the criminals, as I like to call them, they always come out with some nonsensical tactic where it's like they are going to complain about something and then prove a point that the complaint that they're making is valid. And so what she was basically stating, and you heard me say it in the starting of the piece with TFP, is that the media has always been, for the Trump administration, a battleground where they feel like they could speak ill will towards the media, and the morons or the idiots or the uneducated, as the elitists and the rest of the smarter squad of people know, usually in some regards look down upon those set of people that he's trying to go after. So the idiots, the morons, the ones that are fickle, the uneducated, as he would like to always pinpoint. So what happened, as you all witnessed and saw, is that basically she was going on and on about how her colleague was biased towards Trump and yada yada yada. I mean, come on, it's nothing new. But the problem with that is, if he's allowed, or his administration people are allowed, to say ill will things about people you work with, where do you draw the line? And I think she got, like, people like myself gets annoyed after a while. Like, we're sick and tired of the same playbook. Like, it gets old after a while. So you coming on here to pick a fight and to do all that. She was like, no, I'm going to end that. And ma'am, she gave her 2 opportunities. She said, listen, you're coming on the show. You're going to talk about President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, twice, impeach, blah, blah, blah. And she was just going on and on. And it was just like, it wasn't going anywhere. And if you know how to speak to these MAGA group people, they are really ridiculous sometimes. They are annoying as hell. It's like speaking to a rock. So I wasn't expecting any better, but I feel like the CNN commentator just had enough. And at that point, it just went off the rails. So she didn't care. But if you notice, she's made it very concisely clear, hey, stop talking about my colleague like that, because one attack towards that person is an attack against me as well. So we're all in the media. You're literally doing the same playbook like when he was coming in. It's not changing. So, hey, I'm going to cut this interview short. What it did end up doing, though, which was the point that what's his name was trying to make in regards to, like, yes, I get it that you were trying to defend my honor, but at the same time, breath, you played right into their playbook, because now you have these fickle-minded people online going on about, hey, see, you were right. CNN is always trying to, like, do something to Donald Trump and blah, 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 blah. What we're ending up seeing again, and this is what we've been seeing, MD said it, Mike Twin has said it, Van Cat has said it, we've all said it. This is nothing new under the sun. We pretty much know the playbook for Trump. He's going to come out swinging. I doubt he's even practicing the debate at this point, and I don't expect him to be practicing. I think what you're going to end up seeing, yes, you will see Biden practice for the debate, but does Trump need to practice? Probably not, because he spews his diatribe and he goes on, and he does all this nonsense. One of the problems I'm going to have with the debate, and I hate to say this out loud, but I think one of the issues the Biden administration is going to have, and they're going to have to be very careful how they execute this, is when the mic is being muted. I think one of the things that I loved with the debates is the going off the rails of Trump just going on and on when he's like going on and chatting his nonsense. As much as I love for him to be muted during those segments, those are the best times when you get him going off the rails and you hear him say things that you're like, what? So it shows another side to him where people are like, yeah, that's making me cringe. I think that's going to be a problem for this debate, because they're going to mute it instantly once he start going off the rails. And that's where you need to catch him saying some things where you're like, okay, yeah, that's not a good look. I don't think I can vote for him this time. I think Biden needs to prepare himself in a way where, and the Democrats, that is, and this has always been my problem with this side, the Democratic side, is that they always come up with the, hey, you know, this is what Biden has done. Yes, people don't care about that. Remember, the American society is very fickle. They don't care about, yes, he did so and so and so. You're going to have to come out swinging. And when I mean swinging, you have to come out and say, hey, this man has been twice impeached, is a 34 counted felon. These are the things that he has done from the start of his presidency up until now. He has changed, put people on SCROTUS, on the Supreme Court and literally because of these people have changed or put in or implemented things that have literally like caused a cause and effect for the American society. Roe versus Wade got eliminated. They went after the educational what you call it, I can't even remember its name right now on top of my head, but you guys know what I'm talking about. All of that. And there's more sweeping things to come. These are things that he's gonna have to come out knocking and swinging with. You can't come up with the, hey, I've gotten rid of so and so and I've done this. No one gives a damn. That's where we're at now when it comes to decorum and election debates and all of that. You need to come out and say, this is what this man has done. We remind you why we end up winning the midterms election, because they were touting about this is going to be a red wave. They literally are coming after women's rights. This is what they're going to do next. It's all about contraceptions, blah, blah, blah. He's going to have to come out and do something completely different in order to combat what the lunacy of what Donald Trump is going to be coming out speaking about. Because he's not going to talk anything factual. And I think that's the point MD is trying to make as well. If you're not going to talk about the policies, you automatically lose the debate, because we've heard this playbook before. What are you coming about doing different? How are you going to get rid of the election nuances of the immigration issues and all that? Are you going to come in and what? So in other words, what is your alternative to Biden immigration implementation of like what he brought up 4 weeks ago? What is it you're going to come in and do differently? I don't want to hear the drill, baby drill either, because you're not doing anything different. Are you going up to the Arctic Circle near the Bering Strait, and are you going to be drilling there? How does that affect the peacemaking treaty that you have with Canada? How does that affect Russia? I need to hear how you're going to make things different in terms of helping the American people. I don't want to hear your usual foolish nuance babble of nonsensical
Build a wall.
Like it none of that makes sense, because I've heard it before and it's nothing different. So building the wall doesn't really help, because Mexico made it clear they're not going to help you build. And when the last time you tried starting it didn't go anywhere, and people were climbing over the wall, if I remember well. So it's like, what are you going to be doing different? That's what I need Biden to come up swinging with. Like, I don't want to hear you bragging about what you've done, which is usually good if it wasn't Trump. But this is not McCain. This is not what's his name that ran against Obama. This is
Mitt
not
Romney.
These are not your typical people. This is Donald Trump. This is the diatribe spewing, Agent 45, Putin ass kissing. I'm gonna say the uneducated, grab them by the crotch. This is the type of person you're gonna face, and I need him not to be Sleepy Joe, not to play up to that. I need him to come on and be like, listen, you are the one that is now literally facing a trial date for a 34 convicted, counted such and such. These are the croonies that literally went to jail under your behest, and you're literally now denying it. This is what we need to see, because these MAGA people ain't gonna change. Their colors ain't gonna change. Nothing should surprise you about the alternative facts set of people that they are. I need both sides to come up with like MD mentioned, the policies. I need to hear them. I don't want to hear nothing else about who, what did, who, what. That doesn't matter right now. Policies. How are you going to fix the economy, the inflation, all of that's coming into play? How are you going to fix the next onslaught of a pandemic-like feature that we're now beginning to see? There's now a new variant to the pandemic that we faced 3 or 2 years ago. So now it's like, what is it that you're going to be doing different? Are you stockpiling? How are you going to stockpile? Are you like, I need to hear all of those. And then from there, the American people need to make their decision. It's vital now. And again, I don't know if I'm like, it's gonna play either way, and it scares me because on one hand it could work for Biden, on the other hand it could work against him. On one hand it could work for Trump, on the other hand it could work against him. We don't know how this is gonna work, but it's the first debate. But if you're gonna ask me again if it was fair for that CNN commentator to cut off his goon, that moron that came on, absolutely. Should she have done it a little bit better in decorum? Probably. Would it have made a difference? No, because this is the same playbook we've heard about, and it ain't gonna change. So color me surprised.
All
Hey,
right,
hey,
thanks.
real quick, Venkat, let me say this one thing too in regards to the topic.
Yep.
Remember now. So dealing with this issue, they already complaining about the basically the platform CNN,
Not
fake
being
tapper,
treated
and all,
fairly.
right with the schedule left. One of those agencies is the FCC. So if it goes the way that he wants it to go, he'll have full control of the FCC. Meaning that all the guidelines that are put into place now to basically put the checks and balances together when it comes to the media, Trump will have control over that. Just keep that in mind.
Wow. I mean, it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. Okay, Mike, what's your take here on one, the upcoming debate, and then two, did you think this lady was treated fairly on CNN?
We're all heterosexual men, correct? Don't need to
Yeah.
answer.
I mean,
We've all dealt with a woman who you say, "Hey, sweetie," and she goes, "What do you mean, hey?" And you go, "No, hey, I'm saying hi." So why didn't you just say hi? Well, hey means hi. No, hey, it's for horses. What do you think this is? Are you calling me a horse? Are you calling me fat? What?
Yep.
What's going? That's basically what was
That happened
happening
to me
on the
2 days
show.
ago.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's basically what we just saw. That was gaslighting at its finest. And she handled it incorrectly. She should have handled it like the Fox News the guy did. But I am only saying that as a a Monday morning quarterback, because you remember what I told you happened to me last time we talked, Van Cat?
What?
Remember when we talked and I told you something that I haven't told anybody else that
Oh,
something
yeah,
happened to
yeah,
me?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And that was literally the reason why it happened. This exact
Oh.
same gaslighting foolishness, something like this. So
So you
I'm
so
I'm
you
I'm
have a vested knowledge of what's going on here.
very much so. And I acted just like she did, and it turned out probably worse. So there's nothing else she could have done. It's what they do. There's no way you can win. If you handle it respectfully, they'll send Trump in to make you look like a tyrant. If you handle it the way she did, they'll send the minions to do it. There's no difference. There's nothing you could have did. All she did was save herself some neurons. That's all she did. She saved herself some brain cells and she moved on with her day quicker. That's it. There's nothing you can do against the I don't want to call it a brain trust because I don't think there's many brains or any trust in it. But there's nothing you can do against the mob. When the mob is on mob time, you just sit there, smile, and go, whatever, man, and go about your business. And as far as the debate goes, there is no winning the debate. There's no winning. It's just how much can Trump's people sully it? That's it. If they can sully it enough to make their fan base look less nuts, then they won. If they don't sully it enough, then they lost. That's it. It doesn't matter what policy. I'm sorry, MD. It doesn't matter what policies they talk about because half the people that they're trying to reach don't even know what policies are. Let's keep it a buck. All the people that know policies already know who they're voting for. The last one was MD, and he was only holding out because he didn't like either one of them, and he didn't, and his integrity made him feel away. But then it just took one of them to step out of ground far enough for him to go, okay, I really have no choice now. That's all it was. It's not like he didn't make a decision; they made the decision for him. And everybody else that has sense knows what policy is, does research, does any kind of intelligent, logical breakdown and thinking of how these two morons have moved, made their choice. Everyone else is you heard what he said. You're trying to get Nikki Haley's people. Yeah, you're trying to get the less stupid of the moronic crew. That's it. And if you can get it dumb enough to make that to excite the part of their Cro-Magnon brain that goes Trump, then you'll get them. If you do it enough and they still go, but that makes no sense, then you're lost. That's it. That's it. You guys keep. There is no policies. There's the days of intelligent politics are over, gentlemen. I'm sorry. We are the last bastion, and it's a shame because the show ain't been on long enough for us to be the last bastion. But we're the last bastion. We are it. We're the last people that can that can function in logical reality, not that knows that alternative facts just mean lies. It's just a lie. That's what it means. It means you lied. I don't care how you spin it, how pretty you make it sound. You lied. That's what it meant. You lied, and nobody has the balls to tell you lied. So you just said something. That's what it is. This is moronic uncle against the Debo of politics. They both suck. Either you're gonna get beat up or you're gonna get your chain snatched. Either way, it's gonna suck. I'm done.
MD, what did you think about what Mike said? You agree? Was Mike right on this?
Well, he half right. I agree with what he said to the point that there's a certain demographic of people that the policy they beyond that. There is, I would say, roughly 10 to 12% of the people like me that do care about what the policy is going to be and try to exceed beyond the demagoguery of Trump. I do believe that. The independent vote with the poll that came out just last week shows that in regards to when he was convicted. It's going to come down to those people in the election. That's my opinion. Those never Trumpers, the independents, the fence drivers, like I was. It's going to come down to those people in various parts of the country. So
Sir,
I agree. Go ahead.
I respect your thoughts, but I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people like to act like isn't the truth. People be lying. Just like women be talking, women be shopping. People be lying. They know who they voting for, bro. I promise you, you were the last person. You were the last person holding out, trying to make a choice. Everybody else know who they voting for. They just like to say they don't know, so people will keep giving them attention. They
I,
know who they voting
I,
for, bro.
I don't believe so, man. I still think you got some conservative straddlers, man. That's trying to hold on.
You know
That's
what?
just what it is. Especially when you got Biden on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with the sentiment that there is a group of people that's set in stone, no doubt. But in regards to the people that's trying to hold on to their conservative faith, and it's going to be at the last second. I'm telling you, it's going to be at the last second where they
Sir,
may just have to say bump it and
I
vote for
was
Biden.
I respect that highly, but there are people who, no matter what happens, will never vote for Biden. They'll never they'll never hate Trump enough to be a Democrat. And then there are people that see what Trump is that will never like Trump and that will never sell themselves enough to go for Trump. They've already decided. Just because they say they haven't doesn't mean. Hey, guess what? Hey, matter of fact, I got one for you. Hey, man, I am an evolved man, and I will never let another thought touch me again. But guess what? If she bad enough, I'll probably smash Sexy Red.
That's sexy, man. Oh
I,
God.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I like nothing about Sexy Red. I probably smash. I'm single. I ain't got nobody. I'm lonely. Why wouldn't I? I don't respect nothing. I don't respect none of them. But I damn sure get Lotto. I damn sure get Gorilla. I don't listen
But
to none of their music. I'll
but that
smash.
nut though, twin. That's just you. That's just the nut talking.
Oh,
No. Exactly. And this is the political nut. They're not going to sell out who they are. They're going to be who they are. They act like they can evolve. Oh, well, I voted for Trump last time, but he went too far. Guess what? There is nothing about Biden that is good enough to make them change their mind.
Nope.
Maybe if it was Obama and he had some hope speech. Maybe if it was Clinton and he had a frickin' saxophone, a frickin' idiot. Maybe if it was Hillary and she had a vagina. But there is nothing about Biden that's going to make these people change their mind. I'm sorry. And he's not going to say anything in the next couple months that are going to spur them to feel, oh,
right.
that's what I've been waiting for.
That's
No,
true. That's
no.
true.
And you
That is
all know
true.
it. You all know it because I don't like Biden. And I don't like Trump. I'm the independent. I'm the guy. But I know for a fact I'm not going with anybody that thinks Project 2025 is a great idea. I'm good.
All right, so we're gonna switch notes real quick. Gonna change up the conversation a little bit on a story that I came across. That's kind of crazy. I'd like to see what the panel thinks about this. I'm gonna play it right now, and we'll see you on the other side.
We are hearing from the woman videotaped while on the operating room table and a Gwinnett County doctor rapping and dancing during her surgery. Channel 2's consumer investigator Jim Strickland also has even more videos, and Jim, the most shocking video yet.
Javita, that's right. We first exposed Dr. Wendell Boutte's controversial surgery videos 2 weeks ago. Then as now, we will notify you that some of the images you are about to see are graphic. The woman knocked out on the table while she's being cut on YouTube saw our story, and she called me to identify herself.
But to see that video with my flesh being cut without a straight line and dancing while cutting me, that's horrible.
Latoya Arsheen was among the first to see video of Dr. Wendell Boutte making an incision and mugging for the camera while the rap song Cut It played. A text from Boutte confirmed that's Arsheen on the table. Cut It is your song, girlfriend. You did awesome. The photo release form is signed only by a member of Boutte's staff. Where Arsheen was supposed to sign is blank.
I feel disrespected on a lot of levels.
First off, we found a second video featuring the song with a surgical assistant dancing while holding a large, excised portion of human flesh. It's too disturbing to air without the blur. Arsheen hadn't seen this video until the day of our interview.
You think that's your flesh?
I think it is, with the cut it, the remainder of the song.
The dignity of the patient was absolutely compromised in that video.
Arsheen is now represented by attorney Susan Witt, who estimates 100 former patients have now come forward with complaints. Arsheen plans legal action not just about the video, but about her results.
How does your body look now?
Disfigured.
How so?
My right side is larger than my left side.
In a full-cover undergarment, it's clear her right side buttock is far larger than the left side. This dimple marks the start of one incision. The scar runs visibly across her back, but on one side it rises above her waistline and cannot be hidden by a swimsuit bottom.
Every day I think about it because I have to take a bath and put on clothes, so it never goes away.
The day after we first aired the Cut It video, Arsheen called me. She'd already received a call from Dr. Boutte.
I saw the news on Monday. Dr. Boutte called me on Tuesday and asked me to help her.
You had a great outcome, right? But the public doesn't know that.
Arsheen recorded the call. Boutte asked her to produce a 1-minute testimonial video declaring that she is the Cut It girl in support of the doctor.
Do you think you want to do it?
I don't know, because I'm really messed up, Dr. Boutte.
Why do you think she asked you for a favor?
Because she knows she messed up.
Arsheen had at first asked us to blur her face, but over the weekend agreed to allow her face to be shown, along with what she calls disfigurements.
I prayed about it, and I felt like I needed to tell my story.
Now, we found 3 separate videos with pieces of human flesh on display. One of them featured twinkling white and green and red lights and a Christmas song playing in the background. I called Dr. Boutte's lawyer, and I called the cell phone number from which that girlfriend text was sent. I didn't get any response. Reporting live Midtown, Jim Strickland, Channel 2 Action News.
So, Jim, before you go, did Dr. Boutte mention your story in that phone call to her patient, Arsheen?
In fact, she did, Jovita, and she said that we exaggerated the case of the woman who was left brain damaged after 8 hours on her table, that we exaggerated her injuries. What Dr. Boutte said in her own words is a second angle we're working for Channel 2 Action News at 6.
All right.
Jovita.
We'll see you then. Jim, thank you.
Oh boy, you can't make this stuff up. Dr. Boutte. I gotta go to Mike. Mike, what do you think here?
Black women, why are you doing this to yourselves? Why are you even putting yourself in this position to be with some Dr. Boutte? You gonna go to somebody named Dr. Boutte and expect class? And then you might as well go to Dexter. This is wow. Okay, I'm not even gonna hit the morality of it. I'll get out of that. I'll stay to the policy, like my esteemed colleague MD would say, and I kick them off the show if they talk trash about you, MD, like the lady.
Hey, ain't no policy in this, man. Do what you do, bro.
Bro, this is insanity. How? You know what? The bearded one loves to say, "Keep it off the camera." Why would you? Why are our cultures so deep and lust and wanting for fame? I'll never understand it. If you offered me fame versus riches, I would, and knowing who I was, I would take the money every time. Why do you want to be famous so bad? I don't know. Nobody famous looks happy. Have you ever noticed that? Nobody famous looks happy. Real talk. When the camera's not on, take a look at them. They look miserable. Nobody famous, with the exception of maybe Denzel. That's about it. This is disgusting. Who dances holding somebody's fat in their hand? That is insane.
And it
That
was
is insane.
crooked as hell. They shouldn't
Bro,
have been
that was the
moving
worst.
around.
That was the worst cut. That looked like, you know what they look like? It looked like they filleted one of them fish that they, you know, them shows the things I
Yep,
watch where they fillet them. That looked like they
yep.
filleted the fish and was just showing the side. That was,
Thank that
bro,
image. Thank you for that image, Twin.
bro, it is nuts. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm getting sick of people acting like they're the bigger person and I'm here to, so the next person doesn't, ma'am, you there to get money. You there because you want your face to be shown. So when the stuff goes to court, they know who to pay. Miss me with that. You don't care about other people. You care about being famous because that's why you wanted to get cut. You wanted people to look at your body and go, ooh. Instead of developing I don't know, a personality, becoming a good person, maybe learning some humor. That's what I did. I'm fat and ugly. People still like me. I ain't getting no lipo. Grow up. I'm confused. I'm confused. And if you're gonna do it, why would you go to somebody named I gotta say it again, Dr. Boutte? What? No,
I thought
listen
it
to
was.
that.
I
My name is Dr.
I
Boutte. Come
She
to me so I
Haitian,
can
bro. That's her
sculpt your,
name.
huh?
She Haitian. That's her name.
Sir, sir.
thought
If the number one uh plastic surgeon for breast was called Dr. Boubet, I promise you my wife going to the second best. I ain't going to nobody named Dr. Boubet who does boobs. It ain't happening. Dr. Boutte who does booty, it ain't happening. No, sir. No. That don't make no sense. I'm good. And I need to, matter
Buy
of fact, could you
one
do your
cheek,
do
get
your
one cheek free.
you feel me? You feel me? I know she got coupons. Nah, bro, I'm good. No, thank you. People, get a personality, learn to say sorry, and get a sense of humor. It works way better than the BBL. I promise all of y'all. I
see
promise y'all.
y'all not gonna like what I'm gonna say next.
It don't make sense. This is nuts to me, bro. This is nuts. And if I had to go to a doctor and his name was Dr. Testes, I'm not going to him.
Or Dr.
It's not
Penis.
happening.
Or
All right,
Dr.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
All right, MD. What's your take on this?
Yeah, so I remember this story. First and foremost, R.I.P. Javita Moore. She was fine as hell. She passed last year. She had a brain tumor.
Oh,
That
it was.
was the news. That was the
I,
news reporter.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
I
remember.
forgot about that. Bob, good callback.
Yeah, so I remember this story. Now, let me say this again. Ain't no way for me to be. Well, yes, it is. What she should have done was get patient approval first and foremost. That's what she should have did before she posted anything. With that being said, that Instagram video was in tune with what the procedure portrayed. It was cosmetic surgery that was being done. She was there to tuck her tummy and lift her ass up. That's why she was there. That's just what it is. Why not play cut it in the background? That's what you're going for anyway. So me personally, I don't have no issue with it. She
Wait a
she
minute,
should.
MD.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't
man.
have no issue with that?
How dare you?
I don't.
Oh
Nigga
my goodness.
activity begets nigga activity at the end of the day.
Oh my goodness.
No,
What she should have done was get consent from the patient first. Now that's as legal as I can get with it. Other than that, it was nigga activity on both sides. Like Trump would say, on both sides, it was nigga activity. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, she was there to get the bag. Let me explain.
Uh-oh.
She didn't start to complain about the scarring until after the fact when the cut it video came out.
Correct.
I seen this video and I seen the follow up to the story. She recovered flawlessly. Flawlessly.
What do you mean she recovered flawlessly?
Really?
No scarring to be shown
So
in a swimsuit.
Was the booty looking better, or it didn't?
You saw the picture. I mean,
Well,
as far as the recovery aspect with the scarring, it was none shown. She showed it. You can go back and look at it. You follow up on it, Vancat. She got the bag. After this came out, there were other people that came out and they did, I guess, kind of like a class action. That lady had to pay over $200,000 to these patients. They got the bag.
Wow.
That nigga activity begets nigga activity, and I'ma just leave it at that. Like I don't have no. Again, look at the context of what's being done, Vancat. That's all I want you to do. Think in a neutral position. She was there to get a tummy tuck and her ass lifted. Dr. Boutte was there to accommodate the Negroes to get their tummy tuck and ass lifted.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, but the doctors in Beverly Hills ain't doing this.
Well, a different clientele, Vancat. Different clientele.
I would think that when you do a procedure,
that was Atlanta, Vancat. That wasn't Beverly Hills. That was Atlanta.
I know, but damn.
I mean,
that doesn't mean you can't do the job right. I would think there's a level of focus and attention that needs to be had to do a procedure like that properly.
Well, again, when you come at it from an aspect of what the context is with a particular patient, in tune with the context of a particular doctor, that's what you get. I think even in the original story, she's not even. I mean, she's certified in surgery, but she's a dermatologist. I believe now. Don't quote me on that, but I believe when this story broke, her original practice is dermatology. She's just giving Negroes ass lifts and tummy tucks on the side.
Oh my God! Side hustle.
She's the new veneer tech.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's a new hot thing. Getting the pop-in veneers and yeah, that's a new thing.
So you telling me you going to Dr. Boutte that don't have a doctorate? y'all out of y'all damn minds.
Yes, sir. But I mean, are you surprised though? I mean, this has been a norm. I mean, first time it used to be they put in the cock in the ass, and then the cock changed to liquids, and then if you can't sit properly, or some dude is doing the back shots and it explode. It's like, when black women, when is it gonna end with y'all? Like, y'all make the Kardashians manipulate y'all minds and make you think this is a normalcy. Again, if you do a poll, and I'm sure anybody, like, I mean, we'll just I'm gonna go on the limb and say, if you ask any guy if they prefer BBLs compared to a natural booty, they're gonna tell you they're gonna prefer the natural booty. There ain't nothing wrong with the BBL if you pay for it and it's done correctly well, and you doing the back shots and it spring and it moves and it
It's
do all.
horrible, Ricardo. It's
The
horrible.
the only BBL I like is the BBL Drizzy beat. That's it.
BBL Drizzy, BBL.
BBL Drizzy.
But I mean, if y'all have had a good BBL backshot session, there's an element to it. So ladies, if you don't know what that feels like, you're not a male, so you wouldn't know what it feels like for us. Sometimes that shit could be hard, and that sometimes it could be like a pillow fluffy. Men don't like it if they're gonna hit it hard, so you can't get mad if it explodes or it does all of that nonsense that you guys complain about afterwards. But I say all of this to say this: y'all doing too much. Did you guys not learn from Kanye West's mom going to Brazil or wherever it was and she ended up dying on the surgical table? Like, there's so many horror stories about doing these damn wannabe surgeries with
Yep.
as people that will put your life in jeopardy. Whether it be
Yep.
disfiguration, whether it be some kind of ailment down the line. Like it used to be like them doing them TDs back in the day, and they put the plastics in and then it start leaking or some crap, and then they slowly die from the inner issues of it. It's the same thing. Stop doing all these vanity crap, man. Like at the end of the day, just age flawlessly. Y'all are black women. Y'all don't understand. And Mike, my twin, said this very fluently well, like in such a ease when he said it. Y'all are so scrumptious and don't even know it. I don't understand why y'all do this to yourselves. Like, you don't need to be twerking. Y'all don't need to be skinning out the pum pum here and there just for likes. Y'all don't need to be doing that. Y'all degrading yourselves in ways that
Facts.
not like a good look. Like after a while, that becomes embarrassing because as black men, we can't defend you, but at the same time, you want us to defend you. You want us to jump in and do all of this. And when you're doing all of that, that doesn't help us progress forward. That's my issue when you hear me say somewhere along the lines, where's the Democratic Party? Where did we change the conservative? And there's nothing wrong with being a conservative vote because black people in the heyday used to go to church often. Now it's like we're doing all this extra nonsense where we want to be on the only fans and we want to do all of this stuff and we want to flaunt and skin out the pum pum and do all of this and twerk and all that. It's too much now. Like at some point in time, save that just for the bedroom. Remember back in the day when we used to only want a lady in the street but a freak in the bed. Let's go back to that. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's go back to that whole. And I'm sure every male will tell you the same thing. We don't want or females looking like thoughts in the street. Like, it's not a good look. We want you to be the thought in the bedroom. By all means, be the freak, the hoe, the nut, the nut buster. Do all of that in the bedroom. We don't need you to be flowing and showcasing all of that in the streets. It's not a good look. I can't bring you around my family or present you to people being a thought. Like it's like a sexy red would not make it. Like I'm bringing her to a restaurant dressing like a thought would not make it for me. That's not a good look. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, she like Twin said, like MD said, you should have forced this woman to sign some non-disclosure agreement or a release form or something stating, hey, once you start doing this cosmetic surgery with me, and by all means, again, this is all her fault. Do y'all research. I can't stress this enough. Do y'all homework. It's not y'all are just being so lazy. When you're if you're doing, if you're going for a job interview, I'm sure you're gonna look up the company before you go get a job there. It's the same thing. Why are you going to a person that states that they're going to do cosmetic surgery and you don't know their credentials? That's crazy. What are you doing? That's like Acme University kind of nonsense. Don't do stuff like that, people. Come on, we're smarter than that. But black women, I implore you, please. I can't stress it enough. Y'all know better. Stop doing this to yourselves. Y'all doing too much with this BBL. It's getting out of hand. And sometimes, if it's not a Dr. Miami, if you don't know who Dr. Miami is, I shouldn't even be doing what do you call it? What do you call it?
Advertising.
Right, free advertisement for Dr. Miami. But all these people, if they're not legitimate peoples, don't go to them because you're wasting $5,000 that you could have invested in the stock market to help you in the end of the day. This is crazy. Men like BBL, sure, for a short-term period, but they prefer natural. And I'll leave it at that. Ask anybody in the panel, from Venkat, MD to Twin, they will tell you the same thing. We don't mind it, but it's not necessary. Y'all are doing too much. Go back to being how y'all was. And again, be the lady in the streets, but the freak in the bedroom, because some of y'all missed that mark a lot. And I leave it at that.
And somehow they'll try to blame us for it later.
Well, I get what he's saying, but I can't speak for that market. Hey, I'm a capitalist at the end of the day. If there's a market for it, hey, it is what it is.
All right, thanks, Ricardo. So right now we're gonna go to the next segment of As the MAGA Turns. We'll take a look at MAGA Maniac right now.
I know this is awkward. Look, I know this is awkward for you, Allie, but it doesn't change the way I feel. Please come back to the yacht with me.
As the MAGA turns.
Turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.
Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do. Single day voting on election day. We will make election day a holiday in the United States of America, so there's no complaints about it. Cancel Juneteenth or one of the other useless ones we made up. Okay? We can't have like everything be a holiday, but we'll cancel one of the other ones and make election day a holiday.
Going back to your election security plan, you said you wanted to have a holiday. You said maybe cancel Juneteenth or one of the other useless holidays. Do you think Juneteenth is a useless holiday?
I basically do. Yeah.
Do you think Memorial Day, Veterans Day are useless holidays?
I don't, because I stand with the presumption of time-tested traditions. Like I said, religion is, I call these things cults. I won't dignify them as religions because religions have withstood the test of time. And so I think that if we made a national commemorative holiday for everything that's important and happened in our history, we'd have no working days left. But I think that the spirit of Juneteenth, we already channel into other holidays, like Martin Luther King Day, like President's Day. I think we can commemorate the spirit of that holiday separately. So I think that we shouldn't have redundant holidays that celebrate overlapping purposes. It should have a distinct purpose. And I think, let's be honest, the reason for making that a holiday was under political duress. It was a political hostage situation on the back of the death of George Floyd. And I think that should not be how we create holidays. We should not create holidays with a cultural gun to our head. And that's what happened with Juneteenth.
Valentina Gomez, who is running for Missouri Secretary of State, posted this on X. She said, Juneteenth is ratchet, and I agree with real Candace Owen. If you don't like America, GTFO, but it means just get out of here. And she posted a video because she had to make Juneteenth about her somehow. Here's that video.
Reparations from slavery and Black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most ratchet holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for Black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America, hang out.
How did she get that way? I don't know. If you weren't completely sure that she was playing up her hate for the camera, she actually wore a shirt that said, "Don't be weak and gay," during Pride Month. So 2 bigotries, 1 video. It's very impressive that she was able to do that.
I want to introduce you to Valentina Gomez. She's running for the office of Secretary of State in Missouri. She is 100% MAGA, America first, and she is absolutely triggering liberals. I mean, literally, with some of her campaign videos, like this one.
There's a lot of Hamas people coming for me on my social media. My address is public, so around.
Dylan Mulvaney.
Illegal or protesting for Hamas? Well, pack your bags.
Just like NYPD loaded up the buses full of Hamas protesters, we can load every illegal immigrant that has come to America and send them back to where they came from. Because if you want to come to America, do it legally. File your paperwork. Don't just hop the border. And veterans, come before illegals.
So the question is, which way, America?
But here's the thing that gets me about it. When you have these people like, Valentina right there, talking about if you don't like America, get out, go to Canada. We hear that from Republicans all the time. If you hate the country, leave. Well, y'all are the ones who clearly hate it. You don't like immigrants coming into this country, even legally. So you hate those people. You hate that the country lets them in. You hate black people. You hate the entire LGBTQ community. You hate the government. You hate the environment. So literally every part of this country, the environment, the land we're on, the government that runs it, and the people that make it up, you folks in the Republican Party hate it all. You literally tell us how horrible the government is. So you hate it. So follow your own advice. You seem to hate everything about this country. You seem to hate all of the people in it. So do what you're telling everybody else to do and get the heck out of here, because we're okay. We're okay with being with people with differing opinions. We're okay with being around people with different religions. Y'all are not. I mean, we saw that in Louisiana this week as well. So it drives me up the wall when these people use their own hatred and bigotry to try to say that other people hate America, when clearly it's them that hate everything about this country.
All right, there we go. MAGA maniac Valentina Rodriguez. Gomez. MD, what do you think about MAGA maniac Valentina?
What I'm trying to figure out is, where did she get this ideology from when she just fresh off the banana boat? That's what I'm trying to like. And that lets you know. That lets you know how these people feel prior to them to even come to this country. She's sitting ready with bullpup shotguns and all type of stuff. How the hell she get that fresh off the banana, fresh from Medellin, Colombia? How she do that? That's crazy to me.
Exactly. She's Hispanic or something. Like, this don't make no damn sense. Are you preaching to white people, the white nationalists, with this? Okay, girl.
You gonna try to tell me about a historical event,
right,
that should be revered in this country, Juneteenth, and then try to politicize it for your own benefit? Fresh off the banana boat, Chiquita.
Chiquita.
I don't understand. I don't understand how that's plausible. But again, that lets you know how some of these people feel before they even get here.
Yep.
These people know what time it is when it comes to legislative repair. They feel it in the air. I'm telling you, they feel it. It's like, bro, it's some electricity going on, and the hairs on their arms are standing up, and they can get ready to feel it. Reparations come whether you like it or not. That's just what it is. That's just what it, and these people can't stand it. They can't stand it because they believe that we're some way bound to be this socio-political underclass. You know what I'm saying? When I'm telling you
Facts.
that in the spirit of America that you say, there should be no one group that should be tied to a class. And that's the part that she hates. That's the part that she hates. At the end of the day, again, we just gonna have to realize at some point that the individual merits of the people are more important than any group in this country. And that's just a whole fact. But I'll tell you one thing, we're gonna get our leg up through these reparations. That's just what it is. I mean, hell, would I be okay if Juneteenth wasn't a holiday? Of course. Of course not. You know what I mean? Well, I'm saying, of course I would. I mean, it's no big deal. And I understand that there may be some implications in regards to pacification. I get that too. But I know how to ride the wave. I damn sure know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, like, y'all just gonna have to get a grip and just come to terms. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Just
But
accept.
they act like Juneteenth is like every black person get a day off, and all the white people work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of white people that be off on Juneteenth.
I worked on Juneteenth. I was working.
I was working too.
Yep.
So what's the benefit of me? It's waving the flag around. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, it's culture war BS. That's all it is. Kowtowing to a certain demographic that want to hear that, especially in a place like Missouri. How did you even get to Missouri? How did that even happen? Why you ain't down in Miami somewhere or New York? How the hell you end up off the banana boat into Missouri of all places? I ain't think the boat went that far. Maybe you rode it up to Mississippi and got off in St. Louis, and then you just walked the rest. So I don't know. But you ain't got no skin in the game at all. And then you running for Secretary of State.
Yes, she is.
How?
The audacity.
But hey, it is what it is.
What you think, Ricardo, about Valentina?
First of all, Valentina, do better. You understand me? Like, I need y'all to do better. If y'all gonna spew, and it goes back to what was that nincompoop that was in the beginning of the video, that's trying to be one of Trump's stooge,
Vivek.
Vivek. You here talking about Juneteenth is useless. You're useless because clearly you know nothing about the historical importance of this country, but you want to spew and go on and diatribe of you want to do holidays. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree with you that November 14th should be a national holiday.
I was just about to say that, Ricardo. You absolutely right. It should be.
It should be. And I've always said that for years, that it should be a day that everybody should be given off to go vote. Now, if you choose, and what they should do also is to make it permanent, that if you're going to get the day off, like say for instance, if you're an employer and you're getting that day off to go vote, show me proof the next day that you voted, or else I'm going to give you some kind of points, or that you would have to get what you call it? I can't even think of the word right now.
Like reprimanded?
You would be reprimanded that you didn't vote.
And Ricardo, I was with you up until that point.
No. Because guess what, MD? It's a civic duty that we take for granted. People fought long and hard, got hosed down, got dog bitten, got lynched to go vote, and you choose to waste it and lollygag on that day. No, you should be given some kind of what you call it for not voting. So I
think but at the same time though, that's coercion though. Ricardo, you can't do that.
Yeah, ahead, I think MD would like to hear, like, maybe Dunkin' Donuts give you a free something if you voted. You show you that you voted.
That's fine because that's a private.
That helps. Yeah, that helps with sales.
But your employers, like that's in the Constitution. There's no form of coercion. That I mean, even with the Dunkin' Donuts thing, I mean that's kind of iffy. I wouldn't mind it because of the context, but when it's directly tied to you. That's coercion. You can't do that. Like,
well, you know, like in football, when they score a touchdown or score a certain amount of points, or basketball,
You get a free.
if they hit a certain amount of points, they get like a free pizza or so. Like you could do something like that as a company to kind of drive sales and attention, and reward people in a same sentence. But I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't. I would
Enforcing.
agree with that. Right, I would agree with that. But you can't negatively impact somebody
Right, right,
based
right,
on
right, right.
like that part you can't do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I know you guys would agree, but I agree to disagree. You should force people to go vote because a lot of people take that for granted. Again, people have died, been lynched, been hosed down, been bitten by dogs, been thrown into cast pits, been done the worst of worst because they choose to go out and vote. While you have morons now talking about, I'm not going to go vote because I don't feel like it. No, you don't get that option. This is your
Well,
civic duty to go vote.
what do you feel? What do you feel, Ricardo, about like if we could vote on the internet or on his cell phone? Like, do you think that's something that's okay, or do we think like
No.
Trump would say it's a security risk or blah blah blah?
If done correctly, yes, it could work, but I doubt in this day and age with AI now coming in and you can't trust anything with these companies and as well as these states and all these other entities that are in. If there's a watchdog or a mediator, if you will, monitoring and seeing how that would work in real time, by all means, sure. But I don't trust that process. Again, I still don't even trust the process of me doing my vote in the booth because God, he knows if it could be manipulated or God, he knows what. But, I digress because you have independent watch bodies that are there to do their job to make sure and ensure that's done diligently well. So when it comes to anything with the internet, if there's somebody policing the entire aspect of the vote, then sure. But who's policing the person who's policing? That's where it becomes a problem. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have the if left to again if it's left to our devices, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and we all know that. It doesn't take little or nothing for somebody to find some loophole somewhere and manipulate it, and that's a concern. So if all the tech companies are in accordance, whether it be Microsoft, whether it be Apple, whether it be God knows who, if Silicon Valley could say, listen, we have watchdogs that are in place to make sure there's no interference from either outside the country or in, by all means, yes, I'll be all that for voting, but I doubt it will happen. I just don't see that happening in this day and age. It's just too crazy. And what we've learned from the previous election going into now, I trust nothing anymore. But in terms of what's his name again? Is it Vivek? Is that his name? Is that name? I
Yeah,
don't remember.
Ramaswamy, Vivek Ramaswamy.
I can't like that was the only thing that I will say I agree with him was that November 14th should always have been a national holiday. Now, when it comes to now degrading Juneteenth, I have a problem because now it's like, oh, how comes the black people get a holiday? We should because well, I'm gonna use
Well,
MD as I'm gonna use MD as an example because he always says, the black voters from from back in the day. When it comes to the foundation of this country, you cannot deny how the black consensus have progressed this country forward. What I'm beginning to notice is that when it comes to anything regarding black in general, it's an attack on the community now, which I'm not liking. And it like the same thing I've said when it comes to like you've seen if it's a black family or something, there's a dilution somewhere. You're gonna see interracialness. You're gonna see. I want you to show me the full blackness. Like on Juneteenth, I'm blackly black, 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 and then the next day I could go back to being regular
Papa
Joe,
Negro, Papa
right,
Negro.
or house Negro. It's like, come on, people, like you can't give the one thing that has always made this country great is that we celebrate everything under the sun that is supposed to be democratic. You cannot for like again. How does Juneteenth affect y'all? It's still a federal holiday, so you're not happy that you're off on that day. But oh no, we have to associate negative words, the ghetto-ness, the this. We need to eat watermelon. Please,
Ratchet.
it's like please stop. Like this is where I have a problem with the white community doing certain things and they're getting away with murder with it. It's like, you need to stop. And not only the white community, I've noticed the Hispanics have also done the same thing. Please cut it out, because you guys also know that there's black people that are also in your culture that you tend to use the colorism card every single time to get away with murder. There has been a lot of help when it comes to black people in the Hispanic community. Lest we remind y'all, Yanga, which is a name that is very popular in Mexico, helped associate with liberating a lot of slaves in Mexico. That's a very
Oh, I
popular
thought
name.
you were talking about Almaga.
No, I know, but
I thought you were talking about Yanga for.
that's where Yanga got the name from. It's an actual slave and there's an actual city in Mexico called Yanga where he actually liberated and helped, assisted with that. But that's a whole other story. I just don't like this aspect and this thing where everybody's now hopping onto this bandwagon of, oh, anything black is ghetto. And lest we remind you of the contribution that have come about from black people. McCoy, if MD, you remember, who was the real McCoy here? You remember that story? Let's go about further. Who invented the three light system? Let's talk about things that, and this is why I think that you should push these things in school, and it's going to be up to parents to now educate their kids about the contributions of black progressiveness in this country, because all along now you're going to hear the stifling of, we don't need a Juneteenth holiday because why do black people need a holiday, or they don't need this and they don't. No, we're not going to do that. Next thing you know, you're going to hear them say, oh, why are they getting reparations? Because it was promised. It was always promised and was never given. I don't understand why the Japanese got reparation. I don't understand why other groups of people have gotten, but the black people are looked down upon because we're looked at as less than equal. That's bullcrap. Y'all need to get off your mighty high horse and realize the contribution that has come about from black people, and stop this nonsense. Yes, I get it. We got a month of Black history, and y'all can't take that. It's too much. It's the shortest month of the year, and yet you guys complain that we have, why are we celebrating Black History Month? You know, it's like, pick a horse and ride on it. Like, stop complaining when we get things that are promised to us. It's asinine at this point. Please cut it out. But I digress. This is where I now implore everybody again, know your civic duties and rights. I cannot implore my black community enough. There's going to be things that are going to be taken away from you if you know who becomes president. Not to say that Biden isn't on the shenanigans, because I can't stand him either for shit. But I got to pick two of the lesser of the two evils. I got to pick somebody to vote for. And this is where your civic duty of doing your homework and knowing why people have died for you to vote. And then you sit there talking about, oh, I'm not going to vote, is utter bullcrap. Go and vote and do your civic duty of knowing what is affecting your local interest, and then go from there and vote for the national interest. You cannot sit there the next day and complain about, oh, my taxes is this, or my kids are being affected, and I don't want to hear it. And I just can't. I hate to think what I'm going to be seeing on November the 15th when fruition comes into play here. Y'all have so much at play here that could work in your favor. Go vote. Please vote for your best interest, and not just be for selfish reasons. And I'll leave it at that. But yes, that people should be allowed to have Juneteenth, and go kick rocks if you don't like it. That's your problem.
Yeah. Kennedy, the third party in this election. My God, I heard him talk the other day. Oh my Lord, how is he even on the ballot?
He shouldn't even be.
No, he should not. And then you to tell them people that you had some worm in your brain. Oh my God, he sounds like he has a worm in his brain. He don't sound like he could get through a sentence or anything. Like, he just sounds like he's like struggling. They're talking about Biden. They need to talk about that guy. Kennedy is horrendous. I don't even know how that's even an option. Anybody voting for him is just ridiculous.
Yeah, but he's going for the independent votes that he think people.
Yeah, I know, which will chip away from Trump and Biden.
But that ain't gonna happen.
That's a wasted vote right there.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, and as far as like having the election day off, the only reason it is because of Republicans. Republicans know that the people at work and go to school are younger people, and younger people tend to vote Democratic. So that's why older people, they retired, they ain't working, and they probably more likely be voting Republican. So they have no need to make voting easier for the other side, which is horrible. And you know, I remember Obama when he won that night in 2008. He was talking about like the voter laws and all the problems with Republicans like kind of rigging certain states and whatnot. Even back then in his election, he was going through it, and he was like, "We got to look at these voter laws and make it easier for people to vote." He said that during the speech, and never had an initiative or nothing was addressed. And we talk about it like right now. We're talking about a guy that's a convicted felon, and for some reason he's on the back. We need to introduce legislation to kind of like address these issues. All these things have never happened before, and we're on the honor system for hundreds of years, and now we got a dishonorable person that's running and breaking all those honorable things that used to happen. You know, so they need to make it pen to paper and make a new, I don't know, add it to the Constitution or new law or new bill or whatever they got to do. But we got to define this thing better so that we don't have another type of Donald Trump where it can't be this way. It's so destructive. But anyway, we're running out of time, and we got one more segment. And that segment is going into session, the lame duck session. So in just a moment, we're going to find out who is the trash bag human of the week on this week's lame duck.
First things first, in this lame duck session.
For the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane.
Lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
So I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
I'm sick and tired of smart guys. I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced. I'm tired of being quiet. I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
With great power comes great responsibility.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. You see? That's how far I've come. That's how far I've come. That's a long way, isn't it? These lights. You want to see a bird graveyard? You just go. Take a look. A bird graveyard? Go under a windmill someday. You'll see more birds than you've ever seen ever in your life.
Well, Matt Gaetz was sending text messages to a minor, enticing that minor to take trips with him, according to the new allegation based on an investigation that is already underway. Let's put up the picture full mass. Back and forth. Once again, is back on the table. Multiple sources have told ABC News Congressional House ethics investigators have obtained text messages allegedly showing a few months after first joining Congress, the Florida Representative Matt Gaetz posed a question to this minor, who at the time had received payments for sexual activity from Gates' then very close friend, Joel Greenberg, to join him and others on a 3-day trip to the Florida Keys, May of 2017. It is important to note that while the article will refer to the individual as a woman, at the time of the text messages, the individual, the person in question, was in fact a minor, a child. Okay? All right. Now, a few years ago, Matt Gaetz went on Tucker Carlson's show in order to defend himself and decided to remind Tucker that if he gets jammed up, Tucker will get jammed up. Here it is.
The interview with Tucker Carlson at times got uncomfortable, with Gates suggesting that the talk show host had dinner with Gates and a woman who could be at the center of the investigation by the FBI into Gates's conduct. Carlson said he did not remember the woman or the dinner.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly. But I would like to know who. So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl who you had a relationship with. Is that true? And who are they? Who is this girl? What are they talking about, the New York Times?
The person doesn't exist. I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false.
Even Carlson left the interview sounding confused.
You just saw our Matt Gaetz interview. That was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted.
Today, the most powerful Republican in the House, Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, called the allegations serious, but said he was waiting to learn more.
And learn more we have. Now, the hypocrisy of Matt Gaetz cannot be dismissed from day one. In that interview with Tucker Carlson, he literally reminds Tucker that a young lady he brought to dinner, talking about Matt Gaetz, is probably the person being referenced. And then Matt Gaetz throws Tucker Carlson under the bus and says, hey, you remember, you were there. Tucker Carlson says, no, I don't remember. They're saying 17-year-old girl. And then Matt Gaetz says, she doesn't exist. Wait a minute, Matt. You just said that Tucker Carlson knew who they were referring to. And then you said the person does not exist. Damn, son. You know you done messed up, don't you? The then freshman congressman appeared to message a woman, at that time a minor, who ABC News is not identifying, asking if she would fly on a private plane to the Florida Keys for a trip with Gaetz, 3 other women, and one other man. The one other man could be his buddy who is currently incarcerated. Quote, hey, any interest in flying on a private plane to the Keys, May 19th through 21st? Gaetz allegedly wrote to the woman, who was older than 21 at the time, according to multiple sources familiar with the messages. Gaetz then allegedly said that the trip would feature 2 guys, 4 girls, a very high quality adventurous group, according to the messages, which have previously not been reported on. Now, we've heard the accusations of cocaine use and everything else on these planes. There's more. Yeah, I'm in, is the response from this individual. According to the text, Matt Gaetz allegedly replied, fantastic, as is true with all time you spend with me. It'll be fun and chill. You have a passport? ? So according to sources familiar with the events, they told ABC News the woman ultimately declined in 2017. The messages, if accurate, mark the first known example of alleged direct private communication between the Florida congressman and a woman who is a one-time close associate of Joel Greenberg, remember the tax commissioner in Florida, told investigators he had been paying to have sex with other men, according to documents and interviews with multiple sources. It's unknown if Gaetz knew that Greenberg had allegedly been paying the woman in such a manner. This is the sex trafficking dynamic. I will get into the other dynamic in a minute. A spokesperson of Gaetz told ABC News, quote, Representative Gaetz has no knowledge of these activities by Mr. Greenberg and was not involved in them. Representative Gaetz has never paid for sex. Representative Gaetz does not know anything about the woman you're referencing, though he takes thousands of selfies each year. Members of the House Ethics Committee declined to comment to ABC News. According to the narrative, they are reviewing all of the data available. Former Seminole County tax collector, best friend of Matt Gaetz, reached a deal with federal investigators on May 2021, in which he actually pleaded guilty. He pleaded guilty to multiple federal crimes, including sex trafficking of a minor. Let me say that again. Sex trafficking of a minor.
This is a guy that the media didn't give a time of day to after he was accused of sleeping with an underage girl. And there's a reason why no one in the conference came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls that he had slept with. He'd brag about how he would crush ED medicine and chase it with an energy drink so he could go all night. This is obviously before he got married. All of a sudden he found fame because he opposed the Speaker of the House back in November, and he's always stayed there. And he was never going to leave until he got this last moment of fame by going after a motion to vacate.
It's important to know Congressman Gates has never been charged with any sex trafficking crime, and he gave this statement to CNN in response. I don't think Mark Wayne Mullen and I have said 20 words to each other on the House floor. This is a lie from someone who doesn't know me and who is coping with the death of the political career of his friend Kevin. Thoughts and prayers.
The House Ethics Committee has revealed new details on its investigation into Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, including the allegations from half a dozen women who say they attended parties with the representative that featured drugs and sex. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details from Washington.
Today, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is pushing back against the new details of a now years-long investigation. Among the issues being looked at by the House Ethics Committee are allegations that Gaetz engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, accepted improper gifts, and that he sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct. Sources tell ABC News investigators have interviewed half a dozen women who say they attended parties with the congressman and were paid by his once close friend, Joel Greenberg. Greenberg was sentenced in 2022 to 11 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to multiple charges, including sex trafficking a minor. ABC News has learned the committee obtained Gaetz's Venmo records. Sources say one woman testified a Venmo payment from Gaetz was for sex. Others say they were paid to attend parties with Gaetz that featured drugs. The Florida Republican and staunch supporter of former President Donald Trump denies all of the allegations against him, posting in part, quote, "Every investigation into me ends the same way. My exoneration." The House Ethics Committee declined to comment on the details of the investigation. It did say it will no longer pursue allegations that Gaetz shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor and misused state identification records. The DOJ opened a criminal investigation against Gaetz in 2021 and in the end declined to bring charges against him. The case closed in 2023.
All right. There he is. There he is. This week's lame duck, number 44, Matt Gaetz. MD, what do you think about Matt Gaetz with the controversy with the underage girl?
I mean, with certain evidence, I mean, it's quite clear. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's really about him spiting the people that gave way into the allegations of back when. You know what I'm saying? Don't trace it back to him ousting McCarthy. It was all through spite. Everybody knows that. It essentially split in relative terms, not all the way, but in relative terms, the Republican Congress in terms of the House of Representatives. Like it's quite clear. The dude's a scumbag. It is what it is. But he's firmly nestled himself within the MAGA cult, and that he's able to seek refuge through that. So that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, at some point in time, he gets his just due. You know what I mean? We'll see. It all goes back to what's going to happen during these elections, man. I'm telling you, it's pivotal, y'all. It's pivotal. We got to wake up. We got to do some reading, and we have to become politically astute as to what's going on. Matt Gaetz is firmly in a position to have a say within not only Trump's administration but Trump's essentially Congress, if it comes to that. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but dude's come back. That's what it is. I don't hear nothing. Ricardo, can you hear me? Oh man, I don't know what happened. Oh, bank app, pull out. Ricardo, you there? Oh wow. Can anybody in the chat hear me? Can anybody in the chat hear me? I don't know what just happened. I don't even see the live thing up there no more. Are we still live? Damn, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna drop and come back. Maybe it's on me.
Hey, MD, can you hear me? MD, can you hear me? Hey, MD, can you hear me? MD, can you hear me? Ricardo? Hey, MD, can you hear me? Oh, Matt Gaetz must have cut off the feed. Ricardo, you on there? MD, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I didn't know what just happened.
I don't, it looked like the internet connection just went away.
Oh, on your end, I don't know.
Yeah, because on my phone it said no connection. And judging by the fact that Ricardo is there but not there, he's not responding.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened because I didn't even see the live timer up on the screen anymore. I thought something happened to like the stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because at first when you
Do
were
y'all got
talking,
bad weather down there?
I thought it was fine, but it must be something going on. Yeah, so yeah, I guess it's raining a little bit. Maybe that affected it because Ricardo is still silent over there.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey man, global warming is real, y'all. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's hot as hell.
Yes,
Everywhere. Like I don't remember. Again, it's summertime. It gets hot. But this level of hot that we're seeing right now, like I don't remember seeing this, man.
That's right. That's right.
This ain't right.
The-
This ain't right.
yeah, the Republican talking point for years, especially with Trump, is just making light of global warming and not taking it seriously. But
Yeah,
some scientists,
and the amount of flooding too,
yes,
like record flooding in places.
yeah, some scientists believe that we're already past the point of no return. So even if we did everything perfect now, it may be too late.
Yeah, they had a tornado in Michigan yesterday. Michigan.
I know. Yes.
I ain't never heard of no tornadoes hitting Michigan.
Yes. It is some strange and crazy, wild times we're living in right now. We're going from one catastrophe to the next. Financially and physically, we are going through all these things, man. I mean, how do you have 2008 financial collapse, and then within just less than 20 years, you got the pandemic? You know, what's the next thing that's going to hit? Probably.
Hey man, don't talk it up.
I know.
Don't talk it up, man.
Oh man, so I don't know. I guess we should just end this show because, Lord. So why don't you do your final sign? I wish Ricardo would. Ricardo's on mute, but I don't know if he's even functioning. He's probably just there. But why don't you do your final sign off? We'll close out the show.
Yeah, no doubt. Great show as always. Yeah, I think Ricardo in stasis right now. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But yeah, great show as always, man. Again, a lot of pertinent topics. Like I said, this particular topic is essential. It's definitely essential. And, again, you can get Project 2025, the Mandate for Leadership, for free off their website. You can get it for free. Like I said, it's a lengthy document. I'm not saying that you have to read it. There are outlets that you can use to have it read to you. I just put it that way. If you have any doubts as to what's in it, I would implore you to read it. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? And then maybe you could come to a conclusion based off of what you know. Other than that, if you doing the same old talking points is really not anything that I can say to you or you can say to me to relegate the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that we have some people that's doing that in the media sphere right now. You know what I mean? Without having any knowledge of it. And that's sad. Again, check me out. I will be on Thursday, hopefully. Like I said, I've been working my work schedule right now, man. It's wild.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been able to do any shows. I just ain't got the time. But I will be on Thursday, like I said, by hook or by crook, because this is gonna be a pivotal moment, and we're gonna see what's what in regards to the talking points with Biden and Trump. You know, like I just don't want to make it a Trump thing. I want to see how Biden holds up in regards to asking the tough questions, being able to stand on his policy, et cetera, et cetera. It's gonna be interesting to see, and I'm there for it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news right now, man. We could have went a lot of different ways tonight. I'm glad we went this way, but it's a lot of stuff going on in the news right now.
The Supreme Court shut down a few parts of Biden's student loan forgiveness.
Yeah, I saw that. We could have talked about the Louisiana bill with the 10 Commandments in the school.
Oh yeah. I meant we have to do that next week because I really do want to get into it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's a lot of stuff going on right now, man. The Russia attack a couple days ago.
Yep.
We'll get to it at some point. Like I said, I'm gonna ramp back up once I damper down with this work schedule. I will be back full tilt with the show, so we can try to cover as many topics as possible with TFP and MD's Thought Box Live. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I will see you this Thursday, and I'll see you next week, TFP.
Yep. And I'll try my best to see if I can join you on that Thursday show. It just depends on if I pass out or not.
Nah, it's all good, man. Hey, yeah, man, I'm telling you, you got to be. Hey, if you ain't on the show, you at least got to watch the debate. Yeah. Like I say, I don't expect. See, a lot of people are expecting some type of controversial conversation or some fireworks. I think CNN has got it under control where, and some people don't even like the fact that it's not audience in the show and they're gonna mute the mic. Some people don't like that. I think it's good. The reason being is because we can finally see if Trump can put his money where his mouth is at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like it. The hell with the audience. I don't need I don't want to be entertained. I want to know what's what. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because then it'll be just like a rally, and I don't want that crap.
Right. Yeah, I want to see if he can put pen to paper.
Yep.
in terms of what the policy is. That's all I want to know. So it'll be interesting. We'll see.
And Donald Trump promising people in Silicon Valley everything.
Yeah, yeah,
He totally reversed. He totally reversed his policy on immigration, giving
yeah,
people green cards. Oh man, yeah. There's a
yeah,
lot. There's a lot to that could have been covered, but again, the time.
yeah. It's funny. He talks about fighting big tech, and yet he's doing the big tech, trying to give favors for money, just
Yeah,
like he did with the oil industry.
yeah.
Well, I think that was last week. Asking for $1 billion. He said, "You give me $1 billion, and I'll get rid of anything that's got to do with Green New Deal. I get rid of it."
Wow.
Pandering at his finest. But
It's
yet
so
you want me to
transactional.
believe that Trump is for the little man. That's what you want me to believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's amazing, man. It's unbelievable.
Hey.
So we're gonna close out the show now. Peace to Ricardo, peace to Mike, Mr. Straight Talk, Tequila, Bones, Eddie Israel, everyone else in the chat. Next week we'll be back. Next week's show, hopefully there'll be a debate in 2 days, so that next week's show we'll be reviewing that debate and taking a look at some of the key moments from that debate and analyzing what we thought overall with Biden and with Trump's performance. Again, Thought Box this Thursday. MD is going to be doing a live coverage of the debate. So tune into that, the MD20 YouTube channel. Check it out. He's there every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Also, God and Government, Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Any other side notes there, MD?
Nah, man, that's it.
All right. So for all my colleagues here at TFP, I'd like to say peace and everyone have a good evening. Thank you.